Two, and we're in. Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? It is Jaws, the solar powered bard. We are here for a Cyberpunk Red actual play that will be turned into a podcast later on YouTube, so get ready to check that out. But I am Jaws, the solar powered bard, and I would love to introduce and get everybody back in the flow of things. So, starting with this time, Cassidy, tell us who you are, tell us what you'll be doing today, um, and tell us how you're feeling.
Yeah, of course. Hello, everybody. My name is Cassidy. You all know me as the uh, usual DM, but today I will be relinquishing that mantle. And for the next couple of episodes to Fire, who will be taking over during our spring interlude before we get season two up on the way. I'm really happy to be here, be back. I'm back in my hometown now. And I'm getting ready to, get this cyberpunk stuff, really pushing out. I'm trying to push out as much content and stuff as possible. So yeah, today I will be playing Abel, the rocker boy, and I'm going to have a lot of fun playing this character. I've been wanting to play a rocker boy for a good while now, and I'm really excited to get back into the player seat, and hopefully you guys will enjoy all of that. Also, if you're interested in it, I as well play in another game every other Thursday at 2:30 p.m. EST at twitch.tv/orcschool. If you guys are interested, check it out. We'll be streaming next Thursday and then every other Thursday following that, where I also play a rocker boy, the counterpoint part to Abel Kane. And you also get to see my beautiful face on that stream. So if you want to, check it out. And I'm ready to get into this session. Thanks, guys.
Nice. Perfect. And heading to our newer actor in addition to the team, uh, LOL? Is that how I pronounce it?
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah. Basically, phonetics pronunciation of LOL, right? So,
Mhm.
Oh, I
yeah.
like that. I like that.
So yeah. My real name is Gianni. I'm up here in Ottawa, Canada. I thought this needed a Canadian on the podcast because
Always need
one
a
day
Canadian.
Canada's gonna take over the world, and then you will all be sorry. Um,
Please say that every time.
sorry. I will be apologizing a lot because it's a stereotype, but it's also true. I will be playing Laurent Daou. He is
Ooh.
a tech from Marseille in France. I'll be trying to put on a French accent from France. I do speak French, but I speak Quebecois French, which is nothing like a French accent from there. So if it's really annoying, I might drop it. So we'll see how it goes.
I love it.
And then,
Yeah,
yeah,
drop more. We
Yeah.
sure.
remember, like with Lookout Midwest accent, I did it specifically to irritate the Midwest people.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, but yeah. I was gonna say I
I
might
get
throw in Quebecois terms which are not used. Anyways, I'm getting in the weeds, which happens to me a lot. I'm happy to play. I've been playing Cyberpunk since the '90s. I'm a little bit older than everybody else on this group.
Nice.
But yeah, I played a lot of 2020, and this is my second campaign that I've played in. I'm GMing a campaign on Wednesday nights, but that's all Theater of the Mind, more or less. Well, it's on Foundry and Theater of the Mind.
Nice.
it.
Awesome. Awesome. And before I introduce who I'll be playing, um, this time around, Fire and Bone. Let me know
Hey,
what you
everybody.
doing.
What, what am I doing? What are any of us really doing? I'm
Facts.
kidding. That's way too philosophical for the beginning of this game. Hi, everybody. I am Fire and Bone. Like, offline name is Brandon. I'm going to be running today's lovely session and trying not to screw up too much with the continuality that the lovely Cassidy has made for his world. Yeah, I run a couple of Cyberpunk games offline. I'm in many, many more. Absolutely love the world, love the lore. If you want, you can find me on Instagram as FireandBone16, where I post the commissions and the art that I'm trying to do now a little bit more, which
Ooh.
it's all right. Yeah, it definitely has a little while to go, but hey, I gotta post something on these social media handles that I keep advertising, so why not?
Hell yeah! And if you see it, we're shouting out Orc Skull right now. Go ahead and drop that follow. And same for you both. You said Fire and Bone, and that's what it is on Twitch. LOL. Do you have a handle you want to shill?
Not really. I have. I don't have any content that I'm releasing. I will eventually do some painting stuff because I do
Nice.
miniature painting and some commissions on that. So I might start. I actually have to work on my branding on that, but I might start showing it
Hey,
on Instagram. So
the Bard is not only the netrunner who is alive, but also an artist and connected to a really great artist who is in the chat right now. Toxic Demon Studios, great with branding. So we can get together. We do a lot of brand work
all
and
right, cool.
building entrepreneur
Mhm.
brand teams. So facts. We can talk. Um, and I, once again, Solar Power Bard, all the good things. I will be playing Jack Subsidio, the exec, RIP XE. But this exec should be fun. Imagine if Shaft worked in a mega corporation. Um, is what we're going for. So that'll be good fun, and I'm looking forward to it. So yeah. With that being said, Fire and Bone, the floor will be yours.
Oh, good. No pressure at all. Am I right, guys?
All of it.
Uh,
No.
So much
yeah.
pressure, the pressure of the world.
Now you
Oh,
know
the
how I
pressure of
feel.
the world. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I just gotta go find the weather.
So I'm like
Oh,
cyber
good. It's
magic
one of the nice
Mike.
days.
Fire.
Yes, it is another absolutely beautiful day in Night City. Well, it's one of the very few beautiful days in Night City. It is hot, hot, hot with clear skies, and y'all have woken up for the day. Just so we can kind of like introduce our characters a little bit more in world, I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna have you guys like describe your apartments, and then I'm gonna move you guys over to the fixer who's given you all your first job working together. That is Mr. Mule, a fixer associated with the Aldecado Nomads.
Nice.
So let's, you know what, Jaws? I
Hmm.
like it. Like, let's put you in the hot seat first. Why don't you
Okay.
tell me what your apartment looks like, how you're getting ready for the day,
Okay.
and then how you're gonna wake your way over to Mr. Mule.
Okay. So I would say what was it? Little Europe, right? Is where my
Yes,
corporate
little year.
cleanup is. Um, I live alone. I always have my agent. Number one is whomever was hired by HR to me recently. And how long ago was Sumin hired?
Sumin, I think, is pretty new to you. As we discussed a little bit, their loyalty is a little low.
Right, right, right.
So I think she has just come under your employ.
Okay. So with that being said, I sort of move over from one of the messages. Um, I tell my internal agent to put that at speed dial 1. Um, and I stand up, I pick out my hair, I reach over on my bedside table and I grab um, an onyx or synthetic onyx pick and start picking out my large afro that I have. Um, I put on one of my the business suit that I have. But before so, you see an array of light tattoos that look very tribal or primal in nature, almost like light scarification um, around my body, on my back. Um, I look in the mirror. I, fix my beard. It's what time is it in the morning?
Say it's around like 8, 9 a.m.
I make like a hot toddy. I set that thing to go. And I look out on my view in my top floor, bottom floor. Where am I in my con app?
I think you would be in your bedroom. Are you asking more like in relation to the map?
So like the apartment. Where is it? Uh, like what floor would it be inside of the corporate building,
Oh,
the corporate
gotcha,
content
gotcha.
building?
I think you'd probably be on, I'm gonna say the fourth floor because they reserve those like higher level floors
Mm-hmm.
for the people who are a little bit. You're not like a new guy in the company,
No.
but you're still not super. You're like an exec. You're not a junior exec
Yeah.
anymore, but both metaphorically and literally, you've got quite a while to climb before you get those nice views and those nice
Perfect.
apartments.
So I got my middle management view, just across, across the street. It's above, but below still, and I still enjoy that because I work to get here. Of course brush my teeth, do all of the care things. He's really into his hygiene. Um, make sure he has his weapons on him as always because Night City is Night City. And before he sits down to enjoy the rest of his hot toddy, he would probably call Sumin, and I'll let the scene go on to whoever's next.
Yeah. You know what? Let's do our first roll of the game here.
Mhm.
Can you go ahead and roll me personal grooming to see how well you get ready?
Yes, I
Unless you go
can.
into a negative, it won't give you any sort of consequences, but it might give you a little bit of a bonus the next time you got to negotiate with someone. Say that brand new fixer you haven't met yet.
Right? Let's see.
Hmm.
Oh, what happened? Let me
And
just go
while
here.
you're figuring that out, for those of you who, for our viewers, we also have Roll20 off to the side, which you can't see because in a similar way to paying for the Wiggles, you know, you got to pay for the beautiful art that we have.
Yeah.
I kid, I kid. For those of my wonderful players who are on Roll20, I do have a city map up and I do have little tokens that I will slowly reveal to help you figure out where things are in the city. So Mr. Mule, let me do a focus ping over here, is actually up in New Westbrook, right on the edge of the map and therefore city. Oh, hey, we got a roll.
There it is. I had to find the character. I was like, where'd he
Yeah,
go?
raise. Yeah, so that's a 10. So that's beats the simple DV, which means that even a child can do it.
Hmm.
Like again, it's not going to give you any sort of negatives, but yeah, you look nice for the day.
Oh, can I roll my wardrobe and style as well?
I'd love to.
Okay.
And since you have referenced all those lovely like light tattoos you have,
Hmm.
and I saw that you have at least 3 of them, you make sure you factor in that +2 that they give you.
Yes, yes, yes. So
So
much.
the
There we
lovely
go.
Jaws has just imploded, which
Oh
means he rolled a
no.
1 and then rolls a second dice to subtract 4, which
Yo.
is being done online. However, even
R.I.P.
with that bad roll, you still got a 15, which beats a DV of 13, which is everyday difficulty. So you're looking pretty good. Maybe not
Good.
enough that like people are going to be like, yeah, but you are this very well together like exec. And
Perfect.
are you wearing your business wear suit? Or are you wearing something
I'm
else?
wearing my business wear suit.
Yeah. So he looks fine. He looks fine. Maybe not amazing, but definitely fine.
Oh, I have a base
All right.
16 in in that, by the way.
Yeah, I know. That's what makes it funny.
That's insane.
It's like the thing you should be really good at, and
Right.
the first time you roll, you could fail. It's
Oh,
great.
that's great. Get it out of the way now.
Yeah. All right. Let's put LOL in the hot seat next. What is Mr. Details doing? Well, where does he live, and what is he doing as he gets ready for his meeting?
So I live in Hayward, which is a more industrial sector of Night City. And in the mornings, the first thing I do, I wake up, I take cigarette, I have a galoise, and then I make espresso properly. And then in my freezer, I take out the ready croissant that I have imported from France because the shit that they have here is c'est dégueulasse. Um, and then I clean up my apartment because clean living is the way, cleanliness is close to godliness, and I don't want to fuck up my shit when I'm building something. So I'm sorry if I swear a lot. You
It's
you
fine.
tell me if it's problematic, and yeah, I get dressed. I have I have good fashion sense because of course I'm French. What do you want? We are born. We know how to dress, and the
I love
morning
this.
I style my hair. I fix. I make sure I upload new graphics for my light tattoos, and I make sure I match my nails to the clothing that I wear because I have the light nails, and
Nice.
I walk
Nice.
outside, and I'm not a rock star, but the ladies don't mind. Or the
Oh,
guys, it
Yeah,
doesn't really matter.
this team is
Love
gonna
I
be
is
a
love,
love
huh?
it. I love it. Go ahead, give me that personal grooming and that wardrobe and style thing. Let's see if you can upstage the exec over here.
this team is gonna be
Uh,
obnoxious, and I love it.
This is gonna be great.
oh, that's +2 on that because I have, it's +2 on both. So
Yep.
I don't know how to do it.
Yeah. Once like offline, I can show you how to add the modifiers and everything.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah. So yes, you have in fact upstaged the executive by rolling a 12 on personal grooming and
nice,
a 18 on wardrobe and style. So
nice,
make a note of this for yourself. Like the first kind of social role that you do against someone, you're gonna have a +1 to it because of that absolutely wonderful wardrobe and style.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. Because you beat the DV-15 penalty. Only happens once though. So
brilliant.
brilliant. All right. So yeah, let's bring it over to our lovely rocker boy, Abel. Abel, what are you
Yeah.
doing this morning?
So first of all, where are you guys rolling at? I feel left out. Is there a roll 20 link or something?
Oh, did you? Okay, give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. We've had our first live technical issue. It could finally be a
Guys,
proper game.
I feel abandoned by my team.
I'm so sorry, my friend.
They've left me. Uh,
Give me just. Do you have
I'm
a
out
roll
here in
20
the dark
account?
ages. Yeah,
Yo,
I do.
you're in the game.
But oh wait, hold up. I got this.
It's all that
You got
smash.
this, buddy.
I
You
got
got
this.
this. Let me throw a link in the chat for you. That way you can just like quicken and get there real quick.
Boom. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. I'm in.
Beautiful.
But yes, so as it concerns the story where I am, Abel actually lives a bit outside the city, out in the Badlands. So it is a bit of a commute for him to get in, but
Mm.
luckily his day job does not require him to go into the city every day. But he just kind of like wakes up, he stretches his arms high above his self as he sits up in bed, just kind of taking in the view of his ramshackle house that he has taken over. Gets up, checks himself in the mirror, sees he's growing a little bit of stubble, so he goes in the bathroom, shaves that off, brushes his teeth, and starts getting ready for the day. No time for a fancy breakfast of espresso and coffee. He's just going to slide on his gold rings over his myriad of light tattoos that cover his hands and arms, as he kind of throws on a like vintage oversized suit jacket and some loosely matching slacks. And he grabs his pistol, tucks that into his belt, SMG in the other belt, grabs his cane that he uses to walk around because he walks with a bit of a limp in his left leg. Uh, and
Nice.
he straps everything else that he carries around on him, and he's ready to head out to his to the city.
Oh,
Beautiful.
this team.
Give me a quick personal grooming, wardrobe, and style. I know that your character isn't on roll 20, so just like shout out what you got.
I got you. I got you.
This team. It's like a team of faces.
I'm rolling d20s because I think I'm playing D&D. Uh, okay, and so that'll be for uh, wardrobe and style will be 15 plus 2, 15 plus 10, so 25. Um,
Woo!
and for my personal grooming, it will be a 13.
Okay. So, surprising nobody, the rocker boy is the most fantastically
Yeah.
looking person here. Make a note of it. First social role you do like this, give yourself a +2 to it because I like, as we know in the cyberpunk genre, style over substance, your fashion matters. On that
Factual,
note,
factual.
um, what style of clothing does Abel wear? Just for my notes.
So Abel mostly dresses himself in very like vintage, like Western style clothing. So a lot of like vintage American stuff, made in America, um, and all that jazz. So he's got like kind of like an older, timey feel than most of the people in Night City, and that's also what his music's all about. Like he's all about the style of old, all that jazz, and that's what he's got
Is
kind of
that the name
going
of his
on.
album? The Style of Old?
that
Ooh, that's a
that
good
that
name.
that is that will be the name of his album when he puts one out. Right now, he doesn't really have the resources to record a full album, but he's working there. He's working there. His other jobs on the side, let's just say they bring in a lot more money at the moment.
Makes sense. All right, y'all are ready for the day. Actually, second question for Abel. Where in the Badlands? Just in general, like north, south, or east of Night City?
Yes. So, if you
Yes, was
look
the
at
answer. Okay. I
if
kid,
you
I
look at
kid.
the wonderful map, east of, basically to the right of Haywood. So that would be east if this is north, south, east, west.
Yeah. There's
As is.
actually a drawing tool on the left
Sorry.
side of the. Oh, you're good. There's a drawing tool. It's like a little paintbrush. So, if any point you would like to, you can actually. Any of you guys can do this. If there's like important locations that you'd like to mark down, go ahead and draw on the map. And like as like I try to like update it. This is only like 2 or 3 sessions, but I'll try to like put a little token there or move that to the map layer so that it'll stick there and we don't have to worry about
Yeah.
losing it.
Okay, now how do I
Yeah.
erase these scribbles that I just put all over the place?
I am not sure that you can.
Awesome.
There we go.
Awesome.
I can do it though.
There we go.
I am the all-powerful god of this realm.
I have the power.
I kid.
But yeah, and you said that the mule is operating out of New Westbrook. Yes.
I will do a little focused ping here. The map, there should be a little blue token with a silhouette of a person underneath it, a nameplate that says mule. That's more or less where it is. All these locations are approximates. Because in this game, like getting around the city is going to be a factor in how you do the job that you're going to be offered. I'm going to try to make sure to put tokens down so that you guys can think about how you're going to get around.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah. And on that note, you guys are all in your various locations. How are you going to get out there? Just for the benefit of the doubt, I will talk a little bit about your options. So during the day, the subway is reasonably safe. It doesn't run in the combat zones, which, for those of our viewers who aren't familiar with the game, are the sort of derelict and abandoned areas of the city that haven't been repaired after a major disaster 20 years ago. They do run all throughout the corporate zone, and they do have a couple lines that go out to New Westbrook. You could, of course, walk. I have set up this map so that I can measure walking distances. It might take you a few hours, but. And none of you are nomads and none of you have vehicles, but there is always the option of taking a taxi. To do a little product plug here, Black Chrome from the people who make this game does expand on the lifestyles. Our lovely Tech and Rocker Boy can take one free taxi ride per month, and because they have the Kibble lifestyle, which is the most basic. And our lovely exec over here, though, because he's got that good pre-pack lifestyle, can take one taxi a week, or one taxi a day. Sorry, one taxi
Cool.
a day. Yeah. So, how would you guys like to get out there?
Or you could steal a car.
Or you could steal a car.
Or you
I'm
could
down to
steal a
improv,
car.
baby.
You could GTA it. All right, so let
I
me.
will be taking a taxi.
Take a taxi. Beautiful.
I will not be stealing a car because Abel can't drive very well.
Let's see. Do I want to save my? Where are we headed again?
You are headed out into New Westbrook. Let me do
New
that focus
Westbrook.
ping there.
Thank you.
Oh, you're not in the map. That's what it is. So yeah, you are basically on the island in Little Europe. You have to go through all of Little Europe,
Oh, I
lots
see
of
it.
development. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I gotta take my taxi. I was gonna try to save it, but I gotta use it.
Very reasonable. And of course,
Is
you can always spend more money on more taxis. This is the dark capitalistic future.
Well, that would be great if I didn't spend it all on my kid. Um,
What can I do for you, details?
Living paycheck to paycheck.
I was
the
just
way of the
wondering
world.
quickly, did I set the lifestyle, or was that something you set?
The lifestyle is set at character creation. Everybody
Okay.
but the exec gets a kibble lifestyle. Execs, because they have those resources from their corporation,
mhm,
they get a good pre-pack lifestyle.
Okay.
One of the
Okay.
benefits of the exec is they also have a corporate apartment, which is
Yeah.
much better than all of yours.
Then I will take the metro.
Yeah,
Is how
Smart.
I would commute. Yeah,
A true Frenchman.
exactly.
exactly. So y'all get up to Mule's place, and I'll do a little bit of narrating of the city. Of course, our lovely exec is in the best area, the place that is rebuilding, that looks like the cyberpunk high technology life. Big, giant skyscrapers, roads that have little lights built into them, people wearing all sorts of crazy fashions, cyberware everywhere. Absolutely beautiful stuff. And unfortunately, as you pass into the overpacked suburbs, which is where our lovely friend Details actually started out, you begin to see the secondary effects of the natural disaster, which is the nuclear device that was detonated in Arasaka Tower. All
Natural disaster.
natural
Right.
disaster. Listen, nukes are natural.
Lee built my men.
Uh, so that's actually a good point. So why I kind of said natural disasters, the nuke did relatively little damage to the city. There is a giant crater in the middle of it. But the big problem is that the island that Night City sits on is mostly fill. So that giant blast shifted things around, made buildings collapse, made roads impassable, disrupted public utility. Lots of people died, but the land around it was fine. So all those people who survived, they ran into the suburbs.
hmm
So the suburbs are now old, nice buildings that are surrounded by cargo containers that have put into things. Streets that once, a bunch of kids would have played on are now filled with tents that were set up 20 years ago to only last for a few months. Barricades, not as bad as the disaster zone, but there's still violence. Getting around is a little bit difficult. It's a bad time, folks. This is the dark future. It just so happens that our exec lives in the nice part of it. And our rocker boy, he's got the even worse part here. He's in the outskirts. He's in the Badlands, the planet decimated by environmental disasters, nothing but dust and abandoned cities after economic collapse. It's terrible. You should move in with the exec. It's much nicer.
We are friends of the nomads here at
Yeah.
Metacorp.
Yeah. So you guys go to Mule's area, which is basically it is an old suburban cul-de-sac that has had a ton of a cargo container village set up in the open space in the middle. It looks like most of the houses at some point were kind of converted to be the communal showers and bathrooms that they use because they actually had plumbing. For those of you who are familiar with our previous season, you might recognize this place because our previous party delivered a whole lot of drugs to this location.
Ah.
Uh, yeah.
The good old
You
days.
guys, yeah, the good old days. You
Yeah.
guys aren't family though, so instead of going into the nice private area outside of this, you're kind of directed to a gap between two houses, back a little bit farther to an area where there was a little bit of a neighborhood, some nice buildings. Clearly, this is where the bodegas and the grocery stores were. Those places have now been abandoned, but a day market or a little bit of a bazaar has been set up, which is where you are going to meet Mule. I've got a lovely visual aid set up on for you guys in Roll20 in case you guys need to move around or you need a little bit of help visualizing stuff. I try to describe it theater of the mind, but sometimes it's nice to just have a thing that you can look at.
I have to.
The lovely mule is cultural origin somewhere in Central or South America. Hard to pinpoint, and none of you, I believe, are from that region, though I don't know much about Abel, so maybe he is. Older
Yes.
man, lovely. Oh, go ahead.
He is not.
He is not. Yes. older man, kind of got a little bit of a cowboy hat. He's wearing nomad leathers, so
Mm.
very Western, very old feel. He's got an orange jacket on. I'll go ahead and show you a little bit of art I found for him. You know, lots of posters. Nice looking guy. He is sitting at a table waiting for you guys. You're not. We'll say that it took you. It's around 10 a.m. when you got here. Your meeting is technically at 10:30. So if you want to go around and look at the various vendors, maybe grab some food, go for it. None of you guys have met yet, but I think as part of your agents kind of talking to each other, it's included Garden Patch info, which is the social media of the Dark Future, so you at least can recognize each other on site.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to just get some food. You know what I'm saying? Like, Abel left the house hungry. He hasn't eaten anything. He's just been taking the taxi over here. So he would love to, get some grub from one of these stalls because his belly is empty and he's hungry.
Beautiful. Now, what about everybody else? We'll see how we can narrate this whole thing.
Mm,
What kind of stalls are there?
yeah.
Let me pull up that information. So this is a day market, which is different. I should. So there are day markets, there are night markets. The day markets are the things that happen very regularly and have some sort of the standard stuff. Basically, anything that's worth up to 100 that would normally be at a location like this, it's there. Night markets, which I'm explaining for our viewers who are new to the game, are the clandestine, the dark places where you go to get the shit that is straight up illegal or hard to find because the whole world went to shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In this particular day market, there appear to be three basic, like multiple stars, but three basic category. There are a few people selling nomad leathers, which is a style of clothing, which actually matches Abel's style, I think, very well.
Yes.
There are a couple of vendors that are selling, believe it or not, like actual fresh food and some canned food, which is a hell of a lot nicer than all of the kibble that most of you guys have been eating. And there's also a place selling some basic weapons. You know that there's not going to be anything world shattering out there, but if you need to get some ammo, maybe some armor piercing rounds or a crossbow, you could probably grab something.
Well, I want to go see what kind of produce the guy has.
Yeah. Would
I
you?
ate the kibble when I eat it, but
Yeah, it's not very nice. You walk up to the stall. There is a an older man with a mustache and beard. Facial hair is very common on nomads, wearing this kind of like dusty cowboy hat. Nearby is a sort of like street vendor stand that is selling all sorts of lovely like Mexican, South American food. I'm not familiar with these cuisines, so if you are, pretend that it's there. It's kind of like fast food and good quality food. Uh, yeah, you walk up to this vendor. He, smiles at you but doesn't say anything. He speaks to you in Spanish a little bit. For those who new, the Dark Future uses street slang as a common language. Speaks to you in Spanish, gestures at all the things. There are a variety of stacks of canned goods, pretty much anything you can think of. Whole lots of fresh fruit, apples, oranges, bananas, anything that you can kind of foresee getting in your common grocery store, they would be here, as well as a variety of root vegetables: potatoes, turnips, carrots. Yes, carrots are a root vegetable. I will fight people. As well as like a
Yeah.
bunch of like just bottles of like liquor, wine, beer, all sorts of fun stuff.
oh well. Uh, okay, well, let's see. I will take some some potatoes. Do you have onions?
Yeah, we got plenty of onions, and
Okay.
he kind of like goes behind the stall and pulls out what is clearly like a covered box. Clearly, they don't show everything that they have here, so pulls out some onions, sets like a nice bag of potatoes off to the side.
What do you have in the way of cheese?
Uh,
Fromage?
no cheese, unfortunately.
No cheese.
Yeah, there might be some cattle runs that come that have some cheese with them, but we this is the only stuff we can get regularly, unfortunately. Might talk to Mule over there, and he gestures over at the guy you're doing. He's a local fixer. He might be able to help you out.
Okay, I'll go talk to the mule guy. And I'll take, what type of wine do you have? I'm French. I have to have the wine when I eat.
This is where we run into game master problems. I don't know anything about wine besides red and white.
Oof.
Okay,
So
where does your wine come from? Is it Californian or is it from another part of the world that knows how to make the wine?
listen, it's Californian. Basically, it is either poor or standard wine.
Okay. I'll look over the wine and okay, I'll take this bottle. It's better than nothing. It's better than drinking the piss water that you have here or synth beer, the fuck that shit is. But yeah, I take this one. Rig me up. How much do I owe you?
Let's see. So the potatoes are going to be about $20 for that. Onions too. So let's say it's like we'll say you get a selection. It's going to be $20 for that. And did you say standard quality wine?
Yeah, I want to see how much the standard quality wine
Yep.
is.
Standard quality would be about $20 per bottle. It's a little bit more expensive because it is actual wine. It isn't
Yeah.
something that has been synthesized.
So we're talking 40 euro, 40
Yeah,
eddies?
40 euro dollars.
All right. What kind of meat or protein do you have? Any fish? Do you have any pork, beef?
Eh, he looks like a little embarrassed that you keep asking about these things. It's like, I'm so sorry, we don't have any of that. Like, that's more special order things.
Okay.
Again, we do like I don't know why he's here. We do have the fixer over there who can help you out, but that's about it. And for those
Okay.
watching who doesn't know what a fixer is, fixers can get you anything for a cost, which is why the guy keeps saying, "Go talk to that guy, please help me."
Perfect. Excellent. Well, I'll take this, mon ami. And I'm looking around. Does he have any leafy greens?
I think I'm trying to figure out what is native to that type of area. I think he has some kale, but and probably some like iceberg lettuce, but that's about it.
Okay, I'll take the kale. I can make a soup with onions and potatoes and kale. That works.
Yeah. Could you go ahead? Could you give me a trading roll real quick? We're gonna call this an opposed roll. It's
This
gonna
would
be under social.
social. That's it. Okay. Oh,
You
pas
say?
bon.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, it'll be another 10 for that, and it is like a big chunk of kale.
Okay, so 50 euros.
50 euros.
Excellent, mon ami. Here you go, 50. Actually, you know what? I give you 55 next time you tell me when you have the good stuff in, okay?
Of course. And in your pocket, you feel your agent and his agent kind of like clink connect and exchange the info. Since agents are a like limited AI, they're probably just going to communicate with each other and not even involve the humans whatsoever.
Okay, so now I have to add this stuff.
Yeah. I don't believe there is a way to drag and pull very easily for fresh food. Weird thing, in this game, most people aren't interested in buying potatoes most of the time. They just want guns, guns, and more guns. But,
I'm
yes.
just going to write it down as fresh food and potatoes, onions, and kale.
And I have it written. Actually, I have a great way to put this. I actually have a thing that I can share with you that has all of the stuff here. So you can just copy paste it from there and put it on your character sheet.
Excellent.
Yeah. I prepared for this session. All right. So we will go to Abel getting some food in a moment. I want to check in with our lovely exec Onyx and see what he is doing. Uh Sumin, God, I blanked on her name over there for a second.
So good.
Sumin has joined you. She is a Korean woman.
Mhm.
You've met her, but we might as well describe her now. She is a lovely career woman, also wearing business wear, has some like very large circular sunglasses on, like
Mhm.
wearing sort of like gothic style, like short skirt type thing. For anybody who would be looking at her, they might notice that she does have in a like jacket a cyber deck tucked
Mhm.
in for out of game, referencing that our lovely exec has chosen to have a net runner as a team member.
Of course.
And I am actually going to show that to everyone. And this particular, because of the way I set this up, Jaws, you should be able to see her stats so that you can
Mhm.
make like educated estimations about what she might do for you as an employee.
Perfect. Perfect.
So what are you doing, my guy?
Um, I am probably so. Do I have? Well, I will ask Sumin. For this meet with Mule, do you have the dossiers for uh my possible teammates? I would ask her. I just find a
You know
bench
what?
and
I'm
sit
gonna
down
have her.
and have ask her that question.
Yeah. Give me one moment. She has an agent, doesn't she? I'm gonna say that she does. I'm gonna roll library search for her to see how effectively she was able to get this information.
Perfect.
She has rolled a 21, which is a absolutely fantastic
Oh
thing.
yeah.
So she has professional level dossiers on your two people. Of course, this is the dark future where data is like the data internet isn't really exist here, and they are going by handles. So it's not complete.
Mm-hmm.
And just to be fair to all of our players who may not want certain parts of their past exposed before a narrative me makes appropriate, I'm going to let my two players decide with that 21 what information they you like Sumin might have found on
Mm-hmm.
them.
Perfectly reasonable.
Hmm. Yes, she flicks it over to your agent. It lights up and starts appearing, and yeah, you can go ahead and review that. And
Perfect.
yeah. But yeah,
Um.
I think the basic things that we out of character know, like what their role is,
Mhm.
their like street name, and the descriptions that we got. Maybe not necessarily where their apartment is, but at least what area of the city they happen to be most active in.
Perfect. And that's
Anything about our histories or
That I'm going to let you decide.
Mhm.
Yes,
then
go ahead.
I would prefer that my family background stay a little bit of a secret.
Of course.
Mhm.
To just like above table, me talking as a game master, I generally don't, unless both players agree to
Mhm.
kind of do opposed roles or do roles against each other, I kind of don't allow it at the table, or at the very least, I let the player who is being acted upon decide how things work out
Mhm.
because. Sometimes part of the fun of the game for you is to eventually have the dark secret or something like that be revealed.
Mhm.
I don't want to take that away from anybody.
Completely reasonable.
Yeah. So basically, like the roles that these two have, which is Rocker Boy and Tech.
Mhm.
Like from the descriptions of what happened before. At any point, you could basically say like, "Hey, I did have my like Netrunner do some research on you. Is
Mhm.
there anything pertinent that you would like to share?"
Perfect. Oh,
Yeah.
question, GM. With my
Mhm.
lifestyle, how is
Yeah.
food handled?
Let me open up Black Crumb for you, which is an absolutely lovely book if you play this game on a regular basis, because it gives you a ton of interesting items, night markets,
Mhm.
and other stuff. I just got to get to the lifestyle section. So you are on good pre-pack. So
Mhm.
you get per day 1 meal of generic pre-pack and 2 meals of good pre-pack. So you actually are eating pretty well. Your normal standard of food is probably a little bit higher than anything that you could buy here. The difference being is that the food here is actually made with like actual fresh food. So even
Right.
though it isn't well made, the fact that it is actual potatoes rather than potatoes TM is the deciding factor.
Perfect. That being said, I want to go ahead and um take like sling some company credits over to Sumin as like a good job on getting these dossiers. And share like a generic pre-packed snack with her as we're waiting to case out these dudes that we're supposed to meet. I just want to
Of
figure out where they are.
course. That is very reasonable. And because of the gift and the compliment, your loyalty with her is going to go up a little bit. I believe compliment is 2.
Yes.
which is going to be very important because you currently have without loyalty of 2, you have a 15% chance that she will do anything that you actually ask her
I
to
know.
do without either fucking it up or not doing it for you,
Perfect.
which is hilarious to me. It is now at 4, so hey, you at least have a 50-50 chance now.
Perfect. So yeah,
You
I
guys are
tell her to
sharing
go
a
pick
nice
something.
snack.
Yeah.
Yeah, she heads off to go pick something up. You are kind of like narratively reviewing the dust here. Let's
Mhm.
go back over to Abel. Abel, as I described, there's a lot of Central and South American cuisines here, the equivalent to fast food
Mhm.
and like a pretty good quality. Because I've shared that little document that outlines everything here, you can kind of see the prices now. But yeah, it
Yeah.
is think like food truck or street vendor style food.
Mhm. Yeah. He's gonna head up to where the fresh stuff at. He don't
Oh
need a
yeah.
full meal right now. Nothing too like heavily spiced at this time of the day. So he's gonna go over to where the Frenchman was just at.
Hmm.
Um, and he's just gonna reach down. He's gonna grab a mango. And he's gonna go over to the little wine collection. He's gonna just find the shittiest California wine that they have on offer. He's gonna pick that up. He's gonna put them both down. He's gonna say, "This is all for me, partner."
So like, all right. Go ahead. That'll be 12 eds.
He's just gonna take out some physical cash,
Mhm.
like a real man. He's gonna slide it over. He's gonna say, "Thank you for that."
Like a real man.
Um, he's just gonna just like take out a knife and start like peeling the skin off the mango and like use it as like a like in place of a corkscrew to just uncork this wine. Is just start munching on this breakfast. It's a good meal for Nice City. Fresh fruit, some good wine. I mean, this is the life right here.
Yeah. Would you go ahead and give me a quick resist torture drugs? The DV for this is going to be 11. I'm kind
Oh,
of
of
using the rules.
course, of course,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Also, I forgot to mention, um, as he's eating, he's just gonna like find a nice flat surface. He's just slam down a line of synth coke. Like he's gonna line it up all real nice. He's just gonna
Oh God.
get that going too.
Rocker
So
boys.
I'll give you 2 resist torture drugs checks.
You know what? Don't
Um,
worry about the second one. We'll do that when you come off of it. I'm just gonna quickly log the time here that you
sure.
did that.
There's a 15 plus what's 6 plus 7? 13.
Hmm.
So
13.
15 plus 13, so 28 to resist the effects of the wine.
Yeah, you are not drunk. You basically, with a roll that high, like again, critical success right there. I'm gonna say that you fully like drink this entire bottle of wine, which should have had multiple checks involved, and just like you have no problem with it. Fucking rocker
Hey,
boys, am I
listen,
right?
he's French too, okay? Like, he's good with his wine. What can I say?
So you guys have all seen these type of things. It's probably about 10:30 now, and you need to go over and meet with Mule. I'm assuming that you guys all could do that.
Yeah.
You sit down at the gentleman's table. He greets you all. Just to double check here, let me look at Mule. Do any of you happen to speak Spanish or he speaks another language that I don't have written down. It's a Central American one. I'm gonna say Japanese because that's always a good thing. Do any of you speak Spanish or Japanese?
No.
Okay.
I do not.
So because you all
Does
speak street
Sumin?
slang, you can communicate.
I know she must speak Korean, but does she
Um,
speak Japanese?
Let me look at her character sheet real quick. Duh. Nope. It just looks like street slang and Korean.
Okay.
Yes. So obviously you guys can understand each other. It
Hmm.
just is going to be a matter of you're not going to get any bonuses to any sort of negotiations or social roles because if you share a common language, even though most people only partially speak street slang, so having shared that common language would make it easier to talk to them. Yeah, you sit down. He regards you all, gives a little nod to Abel, whose fashion he clearly likes the look of.
Mhm.
Says, "Thank you, gentlemen, for being willing to meet me. I know with the recent troubles with the attacks on Pacifica and the those lovely gentlemen who stole something." And his face kind of like he goes a little distant there for a second. Anyways, I know that finding work has been hard, and I appreciate you being willing to take a contract from me.
Yeah,
Let's
So,
see
anytime,
what the
man.
contract is.
Of course. For those of you who are not
oh,
familiar with me, I run a little bit of a transportation operation around the city. The and he pauses. One of the people who had the bounty who died recently was a family associate of the pack and was seen here shortly before the incidents went on. So we have faced increased scrutiny as a result.
mm,
So I have not been able to use many of my regular runners. So I need some people who are not associated with me. And he motions to the three of you who are very much not the type of people who would work for him normally
mhm,
to do a few less cleanup jobs before I can focus on long term solutions. This will be a series of deliveries. I will have you go meet a few other fixers across the city, deliver some packages for them, and more or less it should be a fairly easy set of jobs. For operational security, I do not know necessarily what they are delivering and to whom. That way, if someone gets caught, they can't destroy the entire network. But
mhm.
I assure you that should not be dangerous work. There might be challenges, but I think that you will be able to handle it.
Well, that sounds all fine and dandy, but about the important part of this, what you offering to us, what's the pay looking like, if you know what I'm saying?
Of course, of course. I am willing to offer you each $1,000 to do these deliveries for me.
I motion
And
over to
how
Suman to
long are they
take
supposed to
notes.
take?
Yep. Sumin is definitely taking notes for you. Go ahead.
And how long are we expected to be on these jobs now? Because $1,000, sounds all good, unless you expect us to be working for a damn week, between 15,000 deliveries. So, like,
No, 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 no. It is only 3 deliveries, and I just need them done by the end of the week. So you could get them all done today, and you've got paid $1,000 for a day's work, or you could be paid $1,000 for a week. As long as they are all at their places to the end of the week, I understand. Normally, I would be a little bit more stringent with the deadline, but you're new. I also understand that none of you are nomads, none of you have cars, so he just kind of like shrugs.
yeah, sounds good to me. I mean, listen, I need the cash. Um, I'm in. And if these two don't work out, we could always find some new people.
Out of curiosity, how much does it take to buy a car? How expensive are cars?
They're real expensive. So part of the DLC, there is a 2-person car that you could buy for 1,000, but it's like a 2-person car. It's not very good. A regular like compact ground car, I think, costs somewhere in the neighborhood of 20,000.
Okay.
And let me actually look up that number to be
Try to buy
safe.
it on layaway then.
Right.
My apologies. There are a few options that are 20,000, but it's an average one costs 30.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a team save.
Mhm. Like realistically, that is why the nomad role is
Yeah.
so wonderful, because even one rank of it gets you a car, and if something happens to it, you can replace it for 500.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, campaigns really change when you don't have a nomad.
Yeah, they do.
Mm.
Well, yes. Myself and my associate here, we're in, and I motion over to Suman. Is there any
Sumin
other
behind you just smiles and nods.
is there any other reason, GM, that I specifically, as a Metacorp employee have been brought in on this job?
Uh, not to your knowledge.
Okay.
Let me do a quick data. You know what? If you would have asked Sumin to do that, let's go ahead and roll loyalty to see if she did it or how well she did.
Okay.
Or you, because you've known this job is coming up, you can
Mhm.
retroactively make like a library search to do some
Okay.
research, maybe a conversation or a streetwise to represent like talking to people,
I would have talked to
or
my
any other role
boss.
you can argue.
I would have talked to my
Yeah,
boss to see uh, why I would be taking such a job.
yeah. Go ahead and give me a quick conversation roll.
Of course.
Yeah,
Um, Getting used to Roll20 again, especially with Cyberpunk. So
there
give
is.
me one moment.
Yep. It is under social, and all the skills under the tabs are alphabetical, which helps a lot.
Beautiful.
hmm It is one of the things I really appreciate them doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's going to be a 12. I think in the conversation with your boss, they didn't have any real ideas either. But for those who are fans of Firefly, some of the logic of having Honora, the registered companion on the ship, gave the ship access to places that it wouldn't normally have access to.
Hmm.
In the same vein, your boss perhaps suggests that maybe having an exec who actually has like corporate ID and information might get
Hmm.
them access to different areas.
Okay.
And where did I get this job from?
I think you got it from your normal fixer. I probably should have like led with a little bit of this, but we'll fix it now. About a week ago, there was like a major military operation in Pacifica. A gang in South Night City made a massive push. The Tiger Claws, while not wiped out, are definitely like in danger of disappearing. Everything in the city is kind of like the whole ecosystem has recently been really fucked up,
Okay.
which is really good for solos because people will like buy more solos, like hire more solos for security. But for people like you guys who like do a lot better in peace times, people haven't been giving you jobs quite as much because like do you really want to hire the tech to like install a security system in your place when
I
a
am a
okay,
weaponsmith.
my apologies. Like yeah, so you've actually probably done really well,
Yeah.
but perhaps some of your normal clientele have kind of gone to ground. So your fixer, knowing that you were kind of hurting, heard about this other job and sent it to you.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to get an idea, I was thinking if you guys seen The Boys, Frenchie from The Boys would be
Oh
Okay.
kind of
yeah, yep.
kind of
Now
what
I
my
have
Oh,
that image in
character
my
is.
head.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And I would imagine
Okay.
since he was headhunting XC, this would probably be some
hmm
figuring out what happened as well. I would imagine.
Yeah. With that note, why don't you give me a quick concentration roll?
Yes, of course.
hmm
Concentration, awareness.
hmm It's also the memory roll, which is weird to me.
Hmm.
Uh, you like you don't get much with there, but he said it himself. One of the people associate who was in the same crew as Exy was associated with this guy's nomad packs, the
Hmm.
Aldecados. So if you want to work on like tracking this guy down a little bit, this could be a good contact to have. Like doing the job for him, straight
Right.
up might help you out. Yeah. Let's focus on details for a second.
Hmm.
Details. Is there anything that you would like to ask Mule before you accept or decline the job? You, of course, I'm big about player agency. You could say no, and I'll just figure out something to do on the fly. I'm good at improv.
So, how big are these packages? You said we have a couple. Do you know how
Yes,
many?
3. Uh,
Three.
uh, yes, none of them are so big that it should require a car to transport them, but it could be as simple as a backpack, it could be something as large as a box, or it could be a selection of memory chips. We intentionally do not ask details besides can we transport it in a vehicle for this reason, so that someone asks me, "Oh, did you transport this box of incendiary grenades?" I do not know. All I know is I got a box, and I sent it away. My Spanish accent is turning French as I talk to your character. It's great.
um. Oh, well, in the same vein, how heavy? Because something could be small, but it could also be much too, burdening, for us to easily carry, especially if we might get tangled up in some things along the way.
I
If
understand.
it's gonna lay us down in a firefight, that could be a problem.
I understand. I will be honest. I was hiring you to take care of these particular issues, but if you needed to compromise on the payment of the contract, I'm certain I could arrange for a nomad who might be willing to drive you around, assuming there was no risk. Or I could perhaps offer you a microcar to use. Of course, if something happened to it. The implied threat here that if you get the microcar destroyed, you will owe him the cost of a microcar.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, listen. You're already paying us not that much as it is for how light on details you're being. I think I'll pass personally on any type of pay cut for this one.
I understand. And he looks at
Mm.
the other two. Well, really, he looks at details because you're the person who hasn't accepted yet.
Where are we? Where are we picking up the items, and where are we
Of course.
dropping them off?
And on that note, I'm going to move you guys back to the main map because I have some icons that I can reveal to you. One moment, please. See. Give me just 1 second. All right. The first person is actually very close to here, a fixer by the name of Al. He is a known quantity. He normally works with the various gangs to keep the peace in New Westbrook. Sometimes that involves moving things, and he has a few sidelines with media's rocker boys, the entertainment type people. I know he has some contacts with N54, but that is about it. The second package is for a fixer by the name of Oddjob. As the name would indicate, he is a bit of an odd man. He does a little bit of everything. He takes and scavenge found items. I truly do not know what it could be. And the third is actually. Give me a human perception real quick as he starts to talk about the third person.
Oh, yay, finally. Something I'm good at.
20.
By the way, Cass, if you hit the slash roll space and then like 1d10 plus something, it will actually do the math for you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that'll be
Yeah,
that'll be
so
20 because I have a 13 human perception. A smart boy.
yeah, so I just did that command and you see it like did the math for me.
Mm.
So 20 for Mr. Human for the reliable, 17 and 18. As he references this last person, a little note of not a little note, but he tries to cover it up. A note of like kind of sadness kind of goes into his voice here. Uh, the third person is a member of my network by the name of Sunshine. They uh, are sort of an honorary member of the Piranhas in the University District. Normally they would make the delivery, but they are unable to. And he pauses when he says unable, as if he's being really careful about the way he says what word he selects. Normally they are involved with illicit substances and other sort of party drugs.
Mm,
But, yes.
And the piranhas are a street gang.
mhm.
Yes, the Piranhas are a street gang associated with parties, drug trade, very interesting things. Out of character, the Piranhas are like a well-known street gang. They deal with they are the party people. If there's a
Okay.
party worth anything, they do it. And for Abel, you've probably done gigs or actively work with piranhas, so you might
Yeah.
have a couple ins with that gang once you get over there.
Would it be possible to recall or with like a recall anything that like we might have heard through the grapevine about what happened to them or
Yeah.
why?
If you
Uh,
want to go ahead and give me a concentration, if you want to just straight up remember streetwise to kind of represent yourself, like being a member of like the rumors, or if you have local expert for that area,
okay,
you
no.
could roll that. You have local expert for Night City, so you may
Yeah.
not get fine details, but you might get something. Anybody
So
can make a roll.
I think I'll use concentration because I have a chip that helps me with those
Oh yeah,
checks.
the explicit memory thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, I think I remember something about that. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I'm rolling really well when it doesn't really matter. I'm worried.
That's how it works, man. Yeah, so I will start with you. You I don't think you remember Sunshine specifically, but there is kind of a recollection in your head that there was this big sort of like rant, like some drugs fell off the back of a truck and it caused like a little bit of like some problems in the area. Like it's something like that. Unfortunately, we just got the
Mm.
everyday and so yeah. Mr. Yeah. Yeah, the other two people who played in the last season remember that
Mhm.
we threw our lovely GM a curveball and stole a bunch of drugs.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
many.
that's the stuff that happened last
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me. Sorry. I am referencing a situation that happened last season where the other crew stole a bunch of drugs and ended up selling them to the piranhas through Mule.
Mhm.
Player wise, that's what's happened. I'm not 100% sure if details would have been associated with that. So it's kind of like,
Probably
remember
not.
there was like a big drug deal that had like a lot of weirdness attached to it. And I think it might have involved the piranhas in that area. So yeah, like that is the context here.
Cool.
For Onyx, and I'm
Mhm.
gonna say Abel as well. You actually, because of your connections to this,
Mhm.
you think. Oh wait, no, that's Onyx's human perception. My apologies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Abel, you do remember this. This Sunshine person is actually a person that you've been to a lot with the parties. They're weirdly like another rocker boy in terms of
Mhm.
like they do a lot of like personality stuff. They're security, but really they're a personality who shows up.
Mm.
You found out recently through the grapevine that her brother died very recently and that she's
Uh-huh.
been in a little bit of a funk, and that's why
Mm.
she hasn't really been doing stuff.
I
XC, did
see,
you
I
want
see.
to have Onyx roll for anything to know what's going on?
Um. Sure. Why not? Never
Yeah,
turn
I
down a
wanted to
roll.
give you a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me roll. Du-du-du. Education.
sure, that's a good one.
Um. Hey, can I roll bureaucracy? No, I'm just kidding. I'll just roll education.
Bureaucracy. Here's the thing. I'll let you roll anything, but if I don't think it matches very well, I might raise the DV of things.
Bet.
Because I'm big into player agency. I'll be like, that's gonna be really hard, buddy, but sure.
Oh,
You can roll animal handling to try to talk down the cops.
if we can,
They are pigs.
if we can remove that last roll, and can I roll bureaucracy because I read my memos about what
Yeah,
happens in
you
Night
know what?
City.
That's actually a wicked cool way of doing it.
I'll take the lower roll because that's what I would have wanted to do anyway.
I just realized we have a bunch of stuff in the chat, but because I'm running the game, I haven't been paying attention to it anyways. So hi everybody in the chat.
This is the first game I actually had the chat open.
Nice. Yeah. So, education. Yeah. So you just opted to roll bureaucracy.
Yeah, I opted to roll
I'm gonna be
bureaucracy.
nice. I'm gonna be nice, and I'm gonna take that dice roll from the education check, which was a 9, and add it to that.
Okay.
Because this is actually like something I feel like your character might know. When he mentions like sunshine, he mentions that you remember a memo. It's not about Exy, but it was about his people.
Mm-hmm.
They had done a little bit of work. The person of Sunshine was the sister of one of the people who was running with Exy.
Okay. Okay. And that's what
Mhm.
Jaws, the person, thought as well.
Yep. I heard the little noise of like, oh, and I'm like, yes, you can confirm your theory with
Okay.
this.
Cool. Cool. I sort of just note that.
Which for the person who was not here last season, our nomad who died had a sister who was a member of the Piranhas.
Mhm.
I will just explicitly say, yes, it is her.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
sorry, I killed him. On the other one.
Fine.
No,
It's fine.
It
He
happens.
kept losing legs, so it was gonna happen.
Well, yeah, he didn't have any legs anyway, so he might as well
Yeah.
be dead.
Yeah. Anyways, back to the game. So yes, so details, you have that little context of, and as you have kind of seen on the map, you are basically going to another local fixer in Westbrook. You're going to someplace in Little China and the University District. Obviously this is a job. There will be complications, but in terms of like business, like time traveled, you could theoretically knock this out like in a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting it all done that would be the issue.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
What do you say,
Are
my
we
friend?
all-
Details?
Mhm.
Do you want to
Uh,
sign up or?
as I said, my associate and I, we have a vested interest in this job.
Of course.
Is it
Excellent.
fixed $1,000 or could we go up, say, 1,200?
You know what? Let's make this a roll. If you would like, you can roll trading for me. I will point out that Mule is a fixer, so he's going to add his haggle
Mm-hmm.
to this. So it's gonna be hard to beat him, but
Okay. But everything is possible.
everything is possible. Holy shit, he crit failed. You rolled a 2, which is the worst number to roll in my opinion.
Yeah.
Actually, give me 1 second because it didn't factor in a critical failure into it.
Oh, plus I have the plus. I look good. The
Yes.
dapper bonus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually going to be a 10. It is a tie.
Oh.
Crap, what do I do in this situation? I'm going to do
Okay.
the thing that's great.
Oh.
Let's meet halfway. 1,100.
I can do 1100, and just because I appreciate a man who wants to haggle, all of your agents do a quick ping. He has forwarded you an advance of like $200 for the job.
Perfect. Excellent.
all right then.
So we will be owed
now I guess
900.
Yeah.
Yes.
The only
But if you
question
need
left
like
then
some
is,
cash to do things, you have it.
Yeah.
So, sorry, go ahead, Evel.
the only question left is which of these do you guys want to tackle first? I presume this guy Al seems like a good entry point into all this drama, but I mean,
Yeah, unless it's a
Indeed,
trap.
I'll leave it up to you.
Unless it's a trap.
Could
I
I
mean, if it's a trap-
go one
if it's a
closest
trap,
so
I
that
don't
you
know
would
what
go
to
there
do.
first? I don't
Yeah.
know. You'll find out.
What kind of an evil GM would do something like that?
Right?
You guys can, of course, if you want to, as you decide to do these things, or if you just want to like kind of think about it. I'll say that your meeting with Mule has ended. You guys have kind of like set it yourselves up at a different table to plan a little bit. You guys can make streetwise rolls to know any information about these people or any other type of like research or memory recalling you'd like to do. I'm very happy to give you guys information depending on like what you want to roll. I usually I kind of base it on what you roll. So if you look at an item and roll weapons tech, I'm going to give you the weapons stuff and maybe other things, that
Right.
type of stuff.
Sure, yeah. I'll roll streetwise on this guy, Al.
Yeah.
If we're targeting Al first, I will run a joint library search with Suman.
Yeah. Sweet. I need to find some notes here. Okay. So you have rolled an 11 for your streetwise. I'm gonna roll for Sue Min. Actually, Jaws, you know what I'm gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you access
Okay.
to Sue Min's. Can you remind me what your screen name is for this? For Roll20.
Ooh, let me find out. I gotta remember myself. I
Is it
see.
Jax?
Yeah, I think
Oh.
Jack Subsidio. Yeah.
Okay. You may need to refresh your tab. Under characters, there now should be Sue Min's character sheet.
Perfect.
You should be able to actually go in and edit it. So if you want to go ahead and roll for her, we'll call this a complimentary check to your library search.
Okay. Actually, can I compliment her?
I love the power shift dynamic. Yes, you may.
Okay.
He's like, you start to do a library search, and she's just like, why don't I handle the library search here?
Right.
And she just gives you a wink and like tells you like specific things to Google for her.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
What, a manager micromanaging? I've never seen that before.
I came to play an exec.
Yes. Yeah, and go ahead and give me your library search. We'll see if
Yeah.
you can add a +1 to that. In which case, I will pop over to Abel. Abel, you don't know too much about Al. However, you do kind of think about it. You do know that I don't imagine that you perform in New Westbrook too often. You do know
Mhm.
that Al is the name of a fixer who's been referenced, can set up rocker boys and medias with work if they need it. So kind of like, and going with what Mule said, you think that like, cool, the rocker boy and the mule is his secondary business, and mostly he works with various street gangs.
No,
Uh,
yeah, I definitely
Onyx,
wouldn't be too involved in that.
yeah. Onyx over here. Well, sorry. Su Min finds out tons of information.
Mhm.
Your assistance actually does bump that up to a 20,
Beautiful.
which is pretty good. I gotta look for a translation because I thought I had written down his actual name. So Al is an Arabic fixer in New Westbrook who does a lot of work with protector gangs. He's one of those fixers who you don't necessarily go to as much for goods, though you can. You go to him to kind of like organize pieces between various gangs.
Mm.
He kind of has his fingers in a lot of pots. Obviously, he's a fixer. Like to make money, he still does sell things, but he is mostly an intermediary. During her research, you find out that his full title is actually Amalek Al Harris. I probably said that terribly, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in to the chat, which is, and I'll throw it into the Twitch chat as well, so that people can know that and tell me how to actually pronounce it.
Amalak Al-Hedis.
Thank you. I'm not even going to try. He is his proper handle is Guardian Angel in Arabic, but he kind of knows that people have a hard time pronouncing that, and it's not as memorable for non-Arabic speakers, so he just goes by Al.
Okay.
He originally got his start working with nomads, like kind of delivering food and various goods like that, and got into the production racket. Overall, he seems like a pretty to his people, he's very good. He's a little bit more cutthroat and will use people outside of the neighborhood of New Westbrook, but he is like a person who really cares about his people,
Mm-hmm.
but he is also the person who would very gladly sacrifice like some people in Watson if it meant that people in New Westbrook didn't suffer.
Okay.
Okay.
But you also find out that the place you've been told to meet him, Casa de Rojo, is also another like kind of nomad establishment. So
Okay, cool. Nomads all around. I shoot this information over. Um, did I have just out of? Did I have their contact information in those dossiers?
yes, I think like generally I do it as part of a like doing a group together. Is you
Okay.
guys will exchange at least agent numbers.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
Because if not, it was gonna be
No,
really weird. Because I shoot that information over. I
You were
ask
gonna
him,
say
and
something, details?
oh, I'm sorry.
well, I was gonna let him finish.
Oh,
Uh,
my apologies.
can I go or
Yeah, of course.
okay? Um, you said Casa de Rojo for the
Yes.
where they stay. Okay, on that. Like I'm not gonna assume that my character knows all the fixtures, even though I work with fixtures. But
Mhm.
maybe I know that bar, and I've been commissioned to do a gun there, or can I do
Yeah.
a recall, like a
Yeah.
concentration check on that, or
Concentration or a local expert.
Hmm, I see what
And
you.
just to be sure, your primary job is weapons tech. Do you do anything on the side in general, or is it like that is your area of focus?
So looking at so I have okay.
I can look
I
at your sheet.
have
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it's supposed to work on the sheet. So I have 4 ranks in weapons tech, or
Mhm.
4 ranks in tech, and I'm supposed to
So
assign
yep.
two, one, two per rank, right? So
Yes.
assign 8 points.
Basically, yes. This isn't like a mechanics question so much. This is like a role play thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm
So
I'm
yeah,
basically asking in your backstory, do you like primarily do weapons?
I do primarily weapons, and I also work on. I also do work on cars, which is maybe why I've got a nomad flavored job in this
Yeah.
group.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a concentration check real quick.
Concentration. I lost it again. Sorry.
Under awareness.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, not
It's a
used to
weird.
this.
No, it's also that's a weird place to put it, I think. But
Wow,
yeah,
I
that's
rolled well.
yeah. I think that you have in fact done work for Al in the past, because again, he'll
Okay.
work with everybody. Because he works with a lot of gangs, I think he's maybe had you come in to either like fabricate, repair, maybe upgrade weapons in the past. You do work for Nomads. This is a Nomad-owned bar, so I think maybe you've gotten a couple like side. It's a little a bit of a trek for you, but I think you've been there before,
And
and
he's
like
on the level.
he is on the low. Again, it's
Okay.
kind of like he'll pay you. You've definitely heard stories of him not screwing people over, but being very willing to like fuck over like someone from another area if it suits his purposes. But in terms of like doing work for him, always honors the contract, because once you start fucking that up as a fixer, you're not going to be one for very long.
Yeah. Perfect. And it's rule out acquisition like 75, right? A contract is a contract is a contract.
Contract is a contract is a contract.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, let's yeah, I know this guy Al. I worked with him before. He seems okay. I don't know if I
Oh,
fully
really?
trust him, but I don't fully trust anybody. But yeah,
Smart man.
Well then, I would trust your guys' judgment on this one. You think we're gonna be packing any heavy heat? I forewent my armor this morning because it's a little fucking hot in this city. But do you think we should be fully geared up, or like we go in there a little half baked and just figure it out? Like you think they expect a full firefight or no?
well, I always think that heavy gear brings heavy heat. No, people look at you and they say, "Oh, this guy has something to protect or something to hide," or maybe he thinks he's
Uh,
all that, and I'm gonna find out if he is or not, and then take his shit.
true. But
It's Night
I
City,
mean,
and I'm in a
yeah.
business
And
suit.
then
Yeah.
yeah, that is also true. I mean, I bet you and me could probably pass ourselves off as hired muscle for this one if we wanted to maybe not be so open about our intentions of everything that's going on. That could be a bit of cover if anybody asks what our kind of deal is. Um,
I could be play the tough guy. Yeah, sure.
and then in terms of transportation, I know you guys got cars, bike,
I have the
van.
BMW, the bus metro walk.
Okay.
I like his style.
Um,
I use my taxi for the day.
and then what do you guys think of maybe boosting a car to get around, or you don't want to deal with that type of deal?
I mean, we always could.
They will bring la police, no?
We'll
I
bring
mean,
And then
depends on where you take it from.
probably bring whoever we stole it from.
okay, boosting. You mean like hot wire, not carjack,
Well, that's
or you
something
want
we
to
could do.
carjack?
Either one. I mean, I don't know where your expertise lies, but I assume anything technical, I can push it off to you. You think you can boost a car? Or, I mean,
I can.
I'm
I
fine
can
with jacking
boost
someone
probably
if
any car except for probably the highly exotic stuff with the multi-million Eddie security systems. I
I
also
mean, I'd
specialize
say
in security tech. Yeah.
boosting something probably take a little longer. And we might have to go to a specific area where we could do it, safely. Jacking it more risky. And I mean, we'll probably have to put the driver in the dirt if we don't want the police on us. But it's quick and
Are
easy.
there
We can get these
are
jobs
there
over
not
with.
are there not cars in the street?
I
I
don't
mean, there
recommend
definitely
anything
are.
near here.
There are.
I
No,
mean,
we go a
I
block
personally
over.
wouldn't want to mess with anyone, that's connected with our dear friend here. And well, I'm just saying, if we, take someone out their car and throw them out, that's a quick way to get the cops on us.
Yeah, exactly.
We might have to silence them permanently. I don't
Hey
know if that's
Mule,
something.
do you what kind of car do you drive? Just just because I like cars and I want to make sure that if something were to happen to a car, it's not yours. You know what to say.
He smiles and is like, I drive a reconstructed muscle car from the 90s. It doesn't have any bells and whistles, so if you see a classic that looks like it's been worked on a bit, don't steal it.
I have
Perfect.
so okay, GM.
Is
Can
you
I
I'm
have any
imagining
place
he
that,
is at a completely different table just doing his fix a thing, and one of the people's like, what type of car do you drive? Do not steal my car.
right? Um, GM. I have a silly that I would like to ask.
Yeah, I love silly.
Can I call? Uh, so do I know of an employee or a colleague on my same level or under me? That I can sort of twist the arm of or finagle into getting them to let us use their driver if they have a driver
Hmm.
or send a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, or also if I have any fans,
Oh,
maybe I could
true.
ask one of them to borrow their car.
Yeah. So, let's answer those two questions. So, going the Onyxes, I think what I would do for that is I would have you make a luck check, which you have to roll at or below your luck,
Okay.
and you will have a person. It'll be like a kind of persuasion thing. There
Mhm.
might be consequences later on or
Yeah.
ramifications to whatever. Abel, I think you're rank 4. I would have to double check that, but I think at least for the
Yeah,
time
you
being,
can
this might change.
convince a
Go ahead.
singular fan to do a major favor for the rocker boy.
Oh,
I think letting you borrow a car for the day would count as that. And while you guys were talking, I kind of remembered something. I rechecked Black Chrome. Part of the good prepack style is you are able, like you can for no cost rent a car for 24 hours once a month. So if you wanted to do that, that is also an option. Obviously, if you destroy it, that will be a
right.
problem. But like as you were talking, I'm like, oh yeah, like I made a note of this because transportation was going to be a thing. Onyx can rent a car and not have to pay for it. It's just 24 hours.
Mhm.
I think I want to put that in my back pocket because I know it's there, but it can come out of my paycheck at the end of the month. If
Yeah.
something gets fucked. So, um, how about okay? I have an idea. I've heard all these things. I look at our rocker boy, and I say, "When's your next
Mhm.
show?" Maybe I can see if you don't mind, giving up a ticket. Maybe I can see if I can bribe someone on my side for a car.
Hey, I mean, I do plenty of gigs, but I'm not really sure if my type of music is exactly what they're welcoming in the corporate world. Now, if you know someone who's a fan,
I'm Metacorp.
I can do a lot more than give them just a ticket. Okay, I mean anything they want, if it'll get us the car. I mean, I'll do it. But yeah,
Cool.
I mean, if you know someone who's a fan, you know someone who's a fan. You know,
So can
they
that
can
be
meet
my
their
luck
idol.
roll? To try to see if I know an employee around my
Yeah.
level or under me
Yeah.
that knows him.
Yeah.
To-
Go ahead and give me a luck check for that.
Okay. Okay. So that's just flat D10, right?
And for those of you watching, or for those of you who haven't game with me before, when I think of like that would be really cool, but I feel like you should roll something for that, but it just doesn't make sense to roll a skill or something, I'll usually call for a luck check because, it also encourages people not to dump luck at the beginning of the game.
Question: How do you roll again?
Sorry, you can't roll it on your character sheet. You just
Yeah.
need to go ahead and roll a d10, and then if it's at or below, you're all good.
Yeah. What's the command? I forget the
/R
syntax.
1d10.
R. I did
Yes. No worries. There's also a little toolbar on the side that has a little like dice thing that'll give you the options as well.
D. No luck on that on my end.
That's not.
No luck on that one. Yeah, so unfortunately, like you kind of think about it, and this kind of makes sense because you're a corpo, you work for like Metacorp. You can't think of anybody around the office who said, "Man, I really like this anti-corp, like old school rocker boy here that basically says fuck the company I work for."
Well, they're pro nomad. They're a nomad group. You never know who's in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you do have a point, but no luck, unfortunately.
Okay, cool.
All right, so we jacking that car, are we hot wiring, or are we fucking walking? What's the deal?
There's
I'd like
public
to hot wire.
transportation too, so.
Yeah, but maybe
I
we
don't know
can do
how I
all
feel
three
about
of those.
I don't
Yeah.
know how I feel
Yeah.
about public transportation with
Of course.
packaging.
Yeah.
I mean, if we want a hot wire, I'm down to cover you while you do it.
Yeah. How busy is the street that we're on? Or like are there side streets that are less busy or like an alley or something or
The thing about the overpacked suburbs is because there are so many like temporary structures made, there
Oh,
aren't a
right.
whole lot of side streets anymore. There are like less used ones. If you guys want to do, I would say a
There's probably
perception.
also not that many people that drive cars here.
Other
There
than the
are a
avocados.
decent number. Yeah, I'll be honest, this is like a little like non-canon thing that I do in my versions of Night City is there are it's not like there are no cars, but there aren't not all over the place, and the types of car kind of change. So out here in the overpacked suburbs, you're probably going to find a lot of micro cars that people are just like taking in to do groceries from like some of the more well-off people, or you're going to find cars that are basically given to company employees who work out here, like execs or managers. So there are options. They're not going to be amazing options unless you guys like do really well on like a luck check or like some sort of like search check. But yeah, there are cars out here.
Yeah. Before we get into all of this jazz, I think now would probably be a good time to do our halfway break.
Oh yeah. I
know,
was thinking to myself, man,
that's
I have
fair.
to pee for some reason.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I need to go to the bathroom, and I'd like to go have a cigarette, so I'm going to go smoke, and I will meet you guys
Yeah.
back here in 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
10
how
to
about
15.
how
I'm gonna
about
hit the
we
bathroom myself.
convene back at 3 p.m. EST?
Yeah, I
Perfect.
like that.
That works.
Beautiful. All right.
Wonderful.
I will see you folks in a bit.
See you soon. See you soon. Thanks for stopping by. Stay tuned. We'll be back in about 12 to 15 minutes, depending on the other gentleman that we have. So I'll switch us over to a transition scene. I too will step away, grab something to drink, and I hope you're enjoying our spring interlude of Nuclear Eddies. Are back.
Yay!
Welcome back to Night City.
Air
Also, shout out
horns.
to my friend Chocolate, who is apparently listening to us at work.
Hey, shout out, shout out. What's good? Are they a streamer?
Yeah.
Do they do the things?
No, they are not a streamer.
Okay.
Oh man, I still had the Twitch audio on, so like as I started talking, like a couple seconds later, I heard myself over Twitch. I'm like, that's gonna get distracting. Ugh. Yes, Chocolate is not a streamer. They are a player in my other like offline games
Awesome.
on Monday and Friday. Yeah,
Well,
very
thank
good
you for
friend of
coming
mine. I'm
through.
glad that they are able to. Yeah. Yeah. So last we left, y'all were gonna steal a car from New Westbrook in order to go over and talk to Mr. Al.
Yes.
So, how would you guys like to go about this? I think clearly, like, how would you like to search for it? I think is the better question here.
I will leave that decision up to our tech who will be stealing it.
So, preferably I'd like to steal an older car because they have older security systems. There's only 3 of us, so we don't need a big car.
A 4, Ox,
Oh,
Onyx
right.
as a team member. Yeah.
Right.
I would probably let you cram people into like cram an extra person into a 3-seater, but if you're gonna steal like a car like that, you might as well go for a 4-seater.
Yeah, and she's sitting on your lap, Onyx. If we have to, cram extra people in.
Understood.
Yeah.
If she could hear that meta commentary, she would have given you such a look.
Yeah, 1000%.
But it won't teleport like
1000%.
companions in Skyrim. Yeah, so I don't want to do it in front of the bar that we're at, so maybe we'll walk a block or 2 over.
Yeah, go ahead and give me, I think perception is gonna be the best role for this. If someone has another idea for a role, go for it. I like to let people advocate for roles because I think it makes the game much more interesting.
Only thing I can think
Well, I
of.
would do.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go. No, I jumped in.
I was gonna say the only thing I would do is whatever our lovely tech picks. I would like to sick SMS is the name I would like to give her for her runner name. Um, I
Yeah.
would like to sick her on the license plate to see who we're up against, so we can avoid
Oh, yeah.
possible, big problems.
He could also use tracking if he's trying to find a specific car.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like-
and then I would help choose a car with like security tech and then land vehicle tech. Maybe that would work. Although finding an area for the job would be probably perception.
Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do here is perception to just like find the vehicle that you're looking for. Maybe
works.
tracking if that works better for you, and then the actual like hot wiring it will be land vehicle tech. If there is a security system, we'll go ahead and like do electronics, or we'll have SMS, whose name I did go ahead and change for you. We will have them look at the security systems.
All right, so I'll look for a good target.
Mhm.
And
That's a real nice roll. Yeah, so like I said, there aren't a ton of side streets, but you do manage to find one of these houses that did have a long driveway at some point, and they kind of kept it there. And there are cars parked on the side, so there is a small collection of like older vehicles. I'm gonna have you give me a land vehicle tech because some of these aren't in great condition to see if you can find one like the one in here basically that isn't gonna potentially break down later. Beautiful. Yeah, you look over the line and you're like, okay, I can see that some of these have been rebuilt with love and care. Some of them are just holding together with literal duct tape in some situations. You find one of the nicer ones. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna before I open it up or get into it, I'm gonna look for any telltale security signs, like
Yeah,
a
go
car
ahead.
alarm.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a conceal reveal to look for any physical security.
And while that's happening,
Like
can
someone who has set up like a knife to pop out or something.
rip.
And go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say while that's happening, can I have SMS run that license plate?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll library search for. I think I'm probably gonna have you do some of the rolling for it, just
Mhm.
because to take some of the stuff off my plate.
Sure,
Bluntly.
of course.
Ooh, she did not do well.
She did. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm rolling so bad today.
Oh, that was yours. Yeah, yeah. Oh, wait, no, that was her thing. Yeah, are you sure maybe you don't want me to run it?
My God,
Uh,
yeah.
uh, SMS. I'll start doing it. We'll see if that works. SMS doesn't really find anything about the license plate or anything like really thing. Also, let's be honest, with the government rebuilding,
Hmm.
like the internet and connectivity not being hard,
Yeah.
it's going to be a while before someone ever notices that this is a problem.
Hmm.
With that conceal reveal check, um, you are basically able to verify that there aren't any like physical security features like a trap that's been set up or like an intentional sabotage, and I'll include with it that there doesn't appear to be any sort of like alarm or anything like that. Also, just straight up looking at the car, I think you maybe deduce that it is a little unlikely that there's going to be a high-tech security system in a
Okay.
vehicle like this.
Okay. Then perfect. I'll jimmy the door open and
Yeah,
we'll go
just
for a
yeah,
hot
go
wire.
ahead.
Yeah.
You know what? Why don't you give me a jury rig roll using land vehicle tech?
And jury rig would be using my tech or
Yeah, let me look at your sheet so I can direct you. So if you go,
field expertise, right? Would be it.
yeah. Oh, my apologies. I thought that there was a specific role for that. I'm silly. I also don't play techs. Just go ahead and give me a land vehicle tech roll.
Sure. And I would get a +2 on that, right? For
Yep. It should already be factored in once you select those two.
oh, okay. Let me just technique land vehicle tech.
Yeah. If you look at the other land vehicle tech you do, you'll see level 4 tech, and then it has 2 ranks of maker already added into it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't see that, but okay, I'll just roll it anyways, and we'll see what comes up. Uh, oh, okay, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah. This is an older car. There is tech in it, but to like let a nomad plug in and do some stuff. Yeah, you hotwire the thing. I think we'll roll with that well. You actually kind of set it up that you don't have to hotwire it every single time. It's like you set the mechanism up, you've shoved a screwdriver in there, so you just have to rotate the screwdriver in order to do it.
Perfect.
I will warn you, if someone inspects the car, they're going to be able to tell that it has been hot wired, but someone would have to either be in the car or like looking through the windows to see that.
Well, we'll just keep this car for the time being. All right, mes amis, get in my car. We go for a drive now, huh?
Yeah, sure. I got shotgun. You corpos, you can take the back seat.
Happily, I'm used to being driven around. All right, and I open a car for SMS, and then after she gets in, I get in.
Yeah, pops in. We'll say like with the whole planning and everything, it's about 1 p.m. when you guys like officially start up and drive over. Al is actually only about 2K away, and for any of you that are interested, on the left there is a ruler. You can actually measure between 2 points, and I have set it up to actually represent it with kilometers, so you can kind of like in your head be like, oh yeah,
Nice.
we can like travel there. Let me move you over to another map, which I will warn you is a little less polished, but it gives you the general layout.
I'm glad you're doing it in kilometers because freedom units,
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I I will admit I have a hard time not using freedom units, but the rest of the world is doing it. I should probably figure it out eventually.
Yeah, I don't mind kilometers at
So
all.
yeah, so you arrive at Casa de Rojo, which is a structure that, like many of the newer structures after the Night City disaster, was built out of cargo containers. It is a kind of a semicircle of cargo containers that have been lined up with some larger ones put nearby to act as like the bar and restaurant. Just providing seating for the people who are there. There's also a second kind of level of card containers, really haphazard and kind of dangerous looking. I think if we, with our modern sensibilities, were to walk into this, we would be stressed the fuck out. But for your characters who are used to this, like, oh, okay, no, it's fine. You can stack card containers like that. It's fine. Like, it's only if, you set off a grenade, it's a problem.
It's fine. Everything will be fine.
Uh, Fine, fine. There is a kind of large central area covered by a tent to block out like acid rain, blood rain, regular rain, with tons and tons of tables. As you walk inside, you see tons of like people wearing standard chic, nomad leathers. Again, you knew this was a nomad armed bar. The two bars nearby have the two 40-foot long car containers that have side opening doors, have food, they have drink, they have all sorts of cool stuff. They also have little community notices, art. It very much feels like a third space slash neighborhood space that has been established. However, I don't believe in your research actually know what Al looks like, so y'all gotta find him.
With that being said, another library search from SMS to try to get its picture.
Yeah. As she is doing this, she just gives you this look of like, and to be clear, she's always perfectly friendly,
Yeah.
but it's definitely this look of this is shit you could have had me do on the car ride over.
I take note
As
of
he
it,
is,
but I keep my face unfazed.
Yeah.
uh,
What were you up
as
to,
he's
Abel?
as he's doing this, I'm just gonna yell at him and be like, "Hey, anyone named Al here? We're looking for Al."
Oh God, I say.
Oh,
Roll me a
really?
persuasion. Roll me a persuasion.
I
I
got
like
you.
that.
I got you. I got my +2 to this too. My
Yeah, that's a great
impeccable
point.
style.
So this like
Persuasion.
well dressed and like I even have your fashion written as like this is probably like nomad level stuff. Walks in looking like you belong and just like, hey, where's Al?
17.
That is a 17. Yeah. A couple of people just kind of like look over at you, get the thing. However, you see coming out from like the kind of kitchen area a woman stand up, and then you look a little bit closer and realize that she hasn't stood up. The chair that she is in has stood up. You see that she is coming over in one of the mobility aids available in the dark future. It is a chair that has four sort of spider legs attached to it that is like popping her over. Older woman, like at one point must have been like bright red hair, now has tons of streaks in it. Cowboy hat. You see that there's kind of like an assault rifle just like popped into not assault rifle, a shotgun just popped into a holster where she could easily pull it out. She looks at me and like, well, hey there, folks. What are you looking for, Al? Can I help you? What are you looking for him for?
I'll just say, yeah, ma'am, we're just here to do a little bit of a delivery for him. We've been sent on behalf of a man named Javier. Don't know if you've heard of him, but I assume he may not want this business, out in the air to everyone. But I take it from your whole persona that you are in charge, at least a little bit around here. So I'm hoping you could help us out a little bit. And he just kind of leans like heavily against this cane as he's kind of talking to her.
You guys just have the cane, and I think you like. There's a moment of shared like solidarity there. It's like, well, I am. You have correctly figured out that I am in charge here. I'm Ruby. I own the establishment. I know that Al's meeting with someone upstairs at the moment, but I already shot him some deets that you folks were here. Why don't you go over, grab yourself a little beer over there, and wait until he comes down? And she gestures at. Let me look at our visual aid. There are some like stairs over here. She like gestures over at a table you could sit at, and you guys could go up to the bar if you want to take her up on that beer.
And he'll just tip his hat on her and say, "Thank you, Ruby." And he will go on and head over to that to get one of those nice cold brews. Just a hot day out after all.
Oh, it is. Yeah, you get yourself a nice mug of synth beer. I'm gonna assume that the rest of you decide to hop over to the table with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, you guys sit there not very long, probably like 5 or 10 minutes more or less. People kind of look around a little bit at you, check you out, but you clearly have been vouched for by Ruby. Out of character, I will say that there was a potential situation, but through creative roleplay, you have completely managed to sidestep it. Well
Nice.
done.
Oh,
After a little while. Oh, go ahead.
just I have to keep
Oh yeah,
up.
the library search.
No, well, I already did that, but that's fine because we already got the answer. I would like to. I have to keep up on this though. Ask if SMS would like a beverage. Um, while we're chilling.
You know, she kind of looks at it and is like, if you could just grab me a water or a juice. You think I know? I think you know from like she doesn't like to drink when she is actually like working.
And I expected as such. I would grab if the water looks clean, I'll grab 2 waters and bring them over before I sit down.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think there's probably it's less that the water looks clean. It's like actual branded water.
Nice.
So yeah.
Times.
And how much was that? I'll take it out of the 200 that we got.
They offered you a couple of beers, so I think that this will count as your like free drink that you were
Oh,
offered.
perfect.
Yeah. Also, hi to Rook, who's also a friend of mine.
Hey, that's good, right? Perfect. That was it. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I am, as you guys know, I'm a little sick today, so I kind of needed to like cough a little bit off the mic and like drink something
I feel
to
that.
wet my whistle. Yeah, so after a few minutes, enough time for you guys maybe to do a little bit of small talk and get to know one another. Ye man kind of says something in a language you recognize as Arabic.
Mhm.
You turn around. There is this big guy, like both tall and well built. Not cybernetically big, but definitely this guy works out.
Mm.
Honestly, he looks more like a bouncer than anything else. But with that successful library search, you do know that this is Al.
Okay.
He's wearing kind of standard chic clothing, like jeans, some sort of red shirt that is like open to show like a heart light tattoo with the Roman numerals 13 on top of it,
Nice.
and just this kind of brown jacket. You don't see, I think, any obvious weaponry or armor on him, which interpret that as you will, because most of the people around here are at least wearing leathers and have like a pistol showing. But yeah, he just kind of like motions you guys upstairs to follow him. I'm assuming that you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You find yourself in a like a little 10-foot long cargo container that is clearly acting like it's obviously there for people to be able to eat there, but it seems that when he is here, this acts as his office.
Okay.
He invites you to sit down, and he's like, "Gentlemen, you're here on behalf of Mule. Thank you so very much for that. Heard a little bit about his operation having some problems. Glad we can kind of knock this out and get it taken care of. So you're here for the package, I assume."
This is
Yes,
correct.
of course, of course.
He nods. He goes over to another booth that is kind of behind him, pulls out this large wooden box. Now, I am not using the term wooden here as a generic carry-all for a material,
Mhm.
because in the dark future, wood is very expensive.
Mhm.
This is an actual wooden box.
Holy shit.
It's about it's about 3 feet long and about a foot in its other dimensions. It's had like been nailed in. On the side of it, there are some words in Spanish, and there are a bunch of like numbers and stuff like that. If anybody wants to roll like cryptography, for details, the language it's written in is in Spanish. I looked up the two translations of French and Spanish. They are close enough that if you want to roll a deduction, I'd let you try to figure out what it says.
Okay.
I will roll deduction because I speak French.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Deduction is awareness, right? I lost
Education.
education.
11 for my
11 for you.
deduction. I'm not too smart.
12.
Yeah. And cryptography. I think Abel and Details look at it, and you kind of realize that part of it is the word for night, and
Mhm.
like it's like 12 something. You think that might be the word for bottles, but you're not really sure.
Mm-hmm.
Onyx, however, you're
SMS.
not necessarily looking at SMS. Sorry,
Mhm.
SMS is looking at it and like goes into our agent and pings over to you.
Mhm.
It looks like the numbers on the bottom are shipping information.
Oh, we know that well.
Mm.
Cool. I just
Oh
sent
yeah.
her a small message from my internal agent that says, "Look into those numbers for me, please."
He nods and starts going off. I won't make you roll for that. I'll like
Okay, cool.
bring it up in the narrative when it makes sense.
Okay.
Al sets it in front of you. He doesn't like slam it down or anything. He sets it like not gingerly but carefully. He's like,
Hmm.
contents of this are a little bit fragile. He looks right at you, Onyx, and kind of like does a quick once up and down, and it's like, yeah, I see why he sent you guys. So I need this delivered to an address in the executive zone.
Okay. Before we do anything like this, let us. There are rules for transportation, are there not? I'm not going to ask you what is in the box because we never opened the package. But how much does the package weigh? Is it explosive? Is it dangerous? Will I have to kill a police officer that pulls us over and sees it?
Oh, yes, yes. Um, I'll be totally honest, as the game master, I don't know how much the thing weighs.
Okay.
It is fairly heavy. Like he's a big guy, he moved it pretty easily. I think
Mhm.
if you guys were carrying it for a long period of time, I might make you do an endurance or an athletics check, but
Okay.
it is not so heavy that one person cannot carry it. The dimensions make it a little harder, but that's it. Um, Getting back into character. Yes, it is not explosive, but it is flammable, and the contents have been packed with some padding. But if you throw it outside of a car or out a window, they'll break. And he kind of like grimaces and like, I can get more, but I don't want to.
Mm.
If
It's
you know what
not
I mean.
biohazard if it breaks. Like I'm not worried for my life.
He just laughs. uh, Depends on what you mean by biohazard, but no, you don't have to worry what you mean for. You don't have to worry about your life. It's not. He kind of thinks about it. Is like, it's not lethal.
Okay.
And if the
And
cops
who?
pull us over,
Not illegal technically, but I would prefer it not to be searched. Part of the mystique of the client for the client is being able to unbox it and knowing that it didn't go through any second parties, it hasn't been tampered with. So I would consider the job done if it was searched in the process, but if we did business in the future, that would be something that I considered.
Okay.
I think I have an idea. Okay.
Yeah, I do
This
too.
is. I hope I'm wrong about what I think this is, but
Cool. I'm saying nothing. I'm just letting this happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's very reasonable.
And who do we deliver to? You said it's in corporate zone, but
Yeah.
the executive zone.
Yep. He gives you the address. If you like do Cyberpunk Google right now,
Hmm.
you won't get much information about the executive zone, but you do get a couple garden patch pages about it being some sort of like quote unquote clubhouse, like those old like social clubs that people would join in order to have a place to hang out at.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Does it have a name?
It does not.
Ooh.
It's more of like you look at the address, like, oh, I was there the other day. Like the staff was so helpful. It's not necessarily because it's secret. It's
Hmm.
because if you're in the executive zone, you don't really have to
It's
advertise.
generic.
It's all the people near. Yeah, it's A is generic, and B, anybody who you think will be going there, you just shoot them a message in their like corporate email. So
Right. Like Militech Club One or something.
yeah, actually, I think a better way to describe it is it's not a business; it is an amenity of the executive
Right.
zone.
Okay, I get you.
One last question: are there any temperature variances I have to worry about for this, or I can leave it in the trunk of the car?
He kind of like frowns as if he's thinking about it. It's like, no, we haven't had problems with that before.
Okay.
Um, from that garden search, do we know who specifically runs this social club? As far as which
Uh,
corporation owns the plot.
no.
Okay,
You don't know who runs it. I will say just like the information. It's like the homeowners association of the executive zone.
so it's like Night City's situation. Okay,
It's weird. The way the books describe it is like the homeowners association only deals with the executive zone stuff and is getting money from the corps to do it. So it's not necessarily like the Night City government. It is whatever organization specifically runs like the streets, the maintenance and stuff for the executive zone only.
okay. Purely
All right then.
like an exec club. I get it.
Yes.
And then the person we're delivering this package to, are they gonna want it to be like confidential? Like they don't really want it known that you're bringing them packaging, or am I
You're
good to just
probably going to
shout their
want to
name
run
and
it into
package
the
it?
back entrance.
Okay, sounds good. I think that should wrap up all our questioning. Last thing, is there any you need this done today, tomorrow? I know Javier said by the end of the week, but for you in particular, you need any particular uh time signature for this one?
I appreciate you asking. Better is like sooner is obviously better, but I've let them know there have been some shipping issues. Not that there ever aren't shipping issues in the current day and age, so they know there might be a delay. But if you take care of it today, it would be appreciated.
And
Sounds good.
we know where, but once we get to said location, to whom would it be addressed to, or to PO box or contact of reception?
You can just bring it into the back. The staff will know what to do with it.
Perfect.
Speaking of, I probably should have asked. I know this is technically like Mule's show, but I probably should ask. Are you guys actually going to be able to get into the executive zone? And he's now specifically looking at Details and Abel, who Details is actually like you're not dressed like crappily, but very much not executive zone type clothing.
We should be fine. I
Yeah, I
pipe up and I
mean,
say, for that you have no worry.
I have no.
I out of character question,
Yeah.
it is it is not cool to just be toting my rifle just openly in the executive zone, right? Like,
Not at
No,
all.
no, no.
If you guys like, we'll talk about this out of character because it's a good idea. If you guys are obviously armored and armed, it's going to be a problem. Like a
Mhm.
pistol that you can conceal won't be a problem. As I kind of told you guys before session, Kevlar you can kind of integrate and it's a little like and kind of like blend into your outfit, so you
Mhm.
won't really be like ID'd
mhm,
for that. But anything higher than that, like your light armor jack or certainly like medium or heavy, that is going to cause problems. It's not
Mhm.
no,
illegal, but it's going to
I'm
cause
not
problems.
wearing my armor, but I do have my rifle. My SMG and pistol can be concealed. But yeah, I guess I'll just leave that in the car then.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
my
the
rifle
rifle
on.
might get you like searched or watched while you're in the executive zone.
All right.
Yeah, and don't worry about me. I know my way around executive zones.
Yeah, of course. Of course. All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for helping Mule out. And he looks over to Abel. Is like, I think I've heard of y'all. Keep in mind if I have any sort of gigs that come kicking around. I think I actually have something that might match for you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, sounds
Cool.
good, man. Just let me know. I'm always looking for work, and you know, if you ever need any muscle too, that's what I do on the side when I'm not you know, running jobs or performing gigs. So
What
anything
is
you
your
might need.
body score, coincidentally?
My body score, not that high. He's less of physical muscle. He has a body of
Yeah.
6.
Right.
But with his limp and everything, not the best hand-to-hand combatant. More
Yeah.
so like security, and he's a weapons expert.
Yeah, I think when he says, "Oh, like I'm security," this like clearly like probably worked at a bouncer at one point. Does give you a once over, but is polite enough not to actually say anything.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Would you guys like to ask Al anything else? Are you ready to go try to get into the executive zone?
I
I'm
think
ready to
we're
go.
good to go.
Yeah, I think we're
Uh,
good to go as
all
well.
right. Mhm. So you guys go ahead and carry the box. Like I said, it's like it's heavy, but not like I can't carry it heavy. I
Mm,
think it's definitely like a two-hand carry because of the dimensions, but it's not like you couldn't run with it or something. You go ahead and pop it into the trunk. There's like a bunch of random shit from the other person in the trunk, like a tent and stuff like that.
nice.
But you'll figure that out. He'll figure it out. Uh, and and you head over to the executive zone. What is your guys' current plan? Well, we'll pause it there so I can actually hear you guys' plan. What is your plan for getting into the executive zone? Because your average Bill and Tom can't necessarily just go into it.
Right. Um, is there a location that I know that we can enter the executive zone that Metacorp has stationed guards, or there's like a rotation, so if I know we get stopped, at least I'll get stopped by my people.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a bureaucracy. I think I'm
Yay.
gonna set that at a 13.
Okay,
And I'll also say if you beat a 17, you might be able to snag yourself and SMS day passes.
perfect.
And of course, always remember you guys have luck that you can spend.
So
Unfortunately,
when you
yes.
like enter in that sector, is there like a punch key or a pass? Like
There is
mechanically
a
speaking, how would it?
Mechanically speaking, yes. There is like a checkpoint
Yeah.
where you present your credentials to the guard, or there, like, I think, sorry, let me take that back. There's like a scanner that like
Hmm.
scans the vehicle to see if it's registered to anybody in there, and then if it isn't, or like the scanner doesn't pick up a face that it picks up a face that isn't in the database, then someone comes over, stops you, and asks for your
Hmm.
credentials.
I'm rolling so bad
Okay.
today.
So people who are supposed to be there can get in and out real easy, but people who aren't supposed to be there are going to be like pulled over and
Hmm.
not interrogated, but at least like, who the fuck are you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 13 for that bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't beat the DV, unfortunately.
What was the
So
DV was what,
uh
14?
13. So you
13.
need to hit a 14 in order to get over it.
Um,
In
Uh,
Cyberpunk, you have to beat DV.
yeah, that's true.
what's
Is
it
it
called?
possible?
I
Oh,
would
sorry.
say, I would just say, at least if we're like stopped and questioned, we should just say that our friend here is your driver, and
Hmm. That was
I
my idea
guess
as well.
I'm either like
Muscle.
co-driver or yeah, security.
I will point out the vehicle doesn't quite match what you would expect a corporate vehicle to look like. Theirs tend to be like a little bit newer or
Hmm.
like sleeker or repainted.
That's
This
why
is, for lack of a better term, a little bit beater.
yeah.
So
That's why I was trying to
Well, the kind of,
swing that because I
yeah,
know we're gonna get
yeah,
no, I
stopped.
I
totally get
would just say
it.
that maybe like something happened to your corporate vehicle, or you had to
Yeah.
leave it somewhere, and so you
Yeah.
maybe called him as a driver on like your off day, and so he
Yeah.
picked you up in his personal vehicle.
Yeah.
Also,
The other option here is if you can change the mechanics of your roll, you are allowed to roll again. So someone can help you with it to give you a complimentary check. You could spend a little bit of luck to change it because now it's a different probability. Or you could take your time, which just means it takes 4 times as long, but you get a +1. So, like, if you really want to hit that, like, bureaucracy thing, you
mhm,
could just be like, fuck, I can't find anything. Okay, I'm going to go slow, or, like, mechanically
mhm.
spend luck.
Well, I do have my assistant, and I wanted to know if I could have her roll a complimentary skill as well to assist me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she might even have bureaucracy. She does not.
So
She has an 8.
I
Go
don't
ahead.
know if you've read my my background on my character.
Mm-mm.
I know I did.
So the family background. So well, I don't mind players knowing it. I just
Yeah.
in character they wouldn't know it.
I hear
My
nothing.
character comes from corporate execs.
Oh, cool.
So I
Yeah.
was wondering if I could kind of mooch off of that, right?
Yes. Now you have triggered the memory. So I did read that, and I'm like, cool. It's not something I'm going to suggest because it's your backstory. You get to share it. But if he asks, yes. Are your parents still living in the corporate zone?
Uh, Probably not. They lost everything from betrayal, but they're also from France too, right? So they work for
Yeah.
EDM.
I think
So, like,
we're
I
gonna.
was thinking maybe I might have like a code or something. Like, your families give like a code to pass in or
Yeah.
Streetwise.
Go ahead and give me a luck check real quick.
Oh, look.
a luck check.
Yeah. Just roll a d10 and at or below your luck.
Perfect. Roll D10. That is my luck.
That is on. Oh wait, that is your luck.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
Oh
kinda
no,
think-
it's not. It's over my luck. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
it's over your luck.
Oh,
I
damn.
can't spend luck on a luck check, huh?
You can't spend luck on a luck check. Wouldn't that be great, right?
Yeah. Oh, that sucks. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been rolling
I
high all day though.
You have.
Yeah, but with that, I will give you a little bit of and technically, usually high roll is good, right? I
Mhm.
will give you a little bit of information. You you kind of think back to that time, and you remember when you were a kid. Sometimes there was the option of if you wanted to like smuggle your friends in, you could get passes that were expired and you could kind of bluff your way past the
Mm.
guards. Especially if you had someone who looked the part. Like in your childhood, it was you or like some of your other friends. And now you do have an exec with you. You might be able to bluff your way in there if you could somehow get a hold or make paperwork that looked legit.
Well,
Mm.
if
Almost,
yeah,
or maybe if someone had like forgery or something.
yeah, I was like perfect. That you say what you say.
Don't you worry. I made sure that there were multiple avenues for you guys to be able to do this if you wanted to. And one of them is Onyx could take a little bit of time, maybe like an hour, let's say like 2, maybe 3 hours to just
Mhm.
kind of like physically forge paperwork. I think in that case it would probably be a situation of you might actually go either to your apartment where you have those supplies or maybe
Mhm.
borrow Detail's workshop if he would be open to that. So it would be like it would definitely be a thing of like, hey, this is going to take a little bit, but we could probably by the end of the day make these passes.
Onyx will be down for that.
Sweet. What about the rest of the crew?
Well, if we're doing that, do we want to?
I like logistics, so I like making you guys think about these things.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, of course, in your head, I can see, oh, if we're going to that area anyways, why don't we just handle the other job?
Shh! Don't put it in my head because I was definitely thinking it. Don't encourage me.
Well, we could go and find out what the other jobs are and where they're going.
Very true.
Because we might need to go to the executive zone again.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. The other thing I could do too is I could try to make the car look a little bit more.
Mm.
Ooh.
Do some body
Okay,
work.
so what
Yeah.
did we steal? Like, I know you're saying it's an older car. Or like, is it like from like our time now? Like, would we know what it is?
Give
Like
me
a
second,
Corolla or
I'm-
something.
It's a cyber truck.
Yeah.
It's a cyber truck.
Those things
You
aren't surviving
succeeded on the
20
land
years.
tech roll. You avoided that. Yes. I think it's like they don't go into details, obviously, so this is why I'm having to think here. I
Mhm.
think you would have clocked it as a car from probably the 2000s that was made, and then when the economic collapse happened, like a lot of these cars got abandoned in whatever towns, and now there's like a whole thing of going back, getting all of them, rebuilding them, and then putting like the Chew 2 systems in there. So it's a yeah, think of like 2000-ish car. We'll keep it comparable to our current cars just because, you know, I don't know a lot about cars, to be honest with
Mhm.
you.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe
It's a
I should
Honda. It's an
yeah.
Honda S. It's a Honda S2000. Nope, that's sorry. It's a Lexus IS 300.
Oh,
I will
okay.
find. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
find an image of it and just throw it in there.
So that could be smart. We might need to clean the car anyway. Um, since we're going to be driving it around for extended periods of time.
Yeah, so I can maybe look like it's like a custom restore because you like something like old school
Mm-hmm.
fuel injected cars, but then I don't know if it would be it runs on True too, or is it
Yes.
gas? Okay.
It would run on Shoe 2.
Which
Sorry, it is
isn't
much harder to
uncommon.
find an image of a random car than I thought it would have been. There you go. I throw it in the chat so you can kind of have like a little bit of visual, but it is like a pretty standard like 4-door. It's just beaten the heck up.
Okay.
But yeah, I think there is a lovely supplement that our folks, I think at Cybernation Uncensored, put out that I'm just gonna straight up use.
Vehicles of the Red conversion guide?
Yes, yes.
Nice.
There was a part in it that actually talked about paint jobs. So I think I'm going to use that paint job. 100 per color. So what I'll say is this: we'll treat it kind of like a we're going homebrew off script here, so bear with me. I think we will call that a land vehicle tech roll, and we'll use the DV of like the fabrication. We'll treat it as like a fabrication or an upgrade. You get to decide. And it's gonna be
Sure.
the 100 premium thing, and we'll just say that that is like you throwing a like new coat of paint on it and just like modifying it.
Sure.
That may change in the future, but like for quick, we got to figure this out right
Mhm.
now. That seems pretty reasonable and fair.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Getting
it'll
the
take a
bits
day
out.
for you to do that.
Yeah, so guys, I can do this. We're gonna make passes, I guess.
Yeah. For sure.
Sorry, I forgot my accent.
Happens.
Okay, so someone who's making the who's forging the multipass.
My team will. And
So you
Just
take
to-
care of that. I can make the car look a little bit more suitable, and then perhaps change license plate, and that maybe your team could also find us a new license plate, so we can keep the car.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know.
Got
Do you
anything?
want the other two want? Like we can drive to the others. Like, if will it take a full day of like me starting now doing it, or can we go check out the other two sites and then the other two jobs and then come back?
I had put down that you were doing this right around, like you got there right around 1. I can't imagine that you've spent a whole hour there.
Mm.
So I think if you, I'm going to count a day for the purposes of crafting and stuff as 8 hours so that you can do other
Okay.
stuff.
Mhm.
So it's going to take you 8 hours. If you got there, you could finish it up by the end of the night, or you could kind of like do half tonight, see if you succeeded the roll, and then finish it up tomorrow.
That's smart.
Okay.
Yeah, for the I do that 8-hour rule because in a lot of my games I have techs who have the very reasonable complaint of like, I need like a week of downtime or I need a month of downtime to do this, but no one else wants to do that. So I make it so like even in game you can be like, I'm gonna take 8 hours to work towards that goal. I'm like, you
Right.
got it, bud. Like,
That's smart.
Mm.
No, I think that's reasonable. In my opinion. Abel, you got anything on your mind?
I mean, not really. Whatever you guys kind of want to do, like this is a little bit out of my element. Um, I'm kind of down for whatever you guys decide.
So I imagine we need to go to your workshop, and I look at details.
Details. All right. Well, let's go. Rules for my workshop: you must not touch anything that you don't know what it is. It is clean, and yeah, stay out of the way.
Reasonable enough.
Sounds
I
good.
like to keep my office.
So yeah, so I guess we'll drive to my little workshop place.
Yeah. So you guys drive about town. I think between like your talking and all the other stuff, it's in like the travel time. It's probably around like 2 p.m. when you get there, which is when Abel needs to make his roll to see if he's addicted to synth coke.
Awesome.
I like if you ever play with me, you find out that I do keep track of time and
I
like
love
dates
it.
and stuff because that's one of the elements I use to add stress to
Oof.
situations.
I forgot to roll the to add the modifiers, but it'll be a plus 13 to that, so that'll be a 15.
Okay.
15.
Ooh.
Let me look at synth coke real quick because I don't think that does it.
Yeah, I think it is 15.
It's
I'll add a point of luck.
You know what? I will be down for that. Yes. Especially since it's the end of the session and none of you guys have spent luck. Yeah, you had a premonition and you added that point of luck, and you are not addicted to synth coke. In terms of addictions go, at least synth coke you can kind of mitigate like you don't suffer the effects as long as you're on synth coke, as opposed to
Yeah.
smash, which you still suffer the negatives of the addiction even when on it. It's like it's a rough
Yeah.
thing.
Like you can't benefit from Smash anymore once you're addicted. You just have to keep drinking it to not be negatively
Yeah.
affected.
Yeah, most of the drugs are actually like that. Blue glass as well. You take it if you
Blue
get addicted.
glass doesn't even like give you positive effects in the first
No,
place. You just
no,
take it to take
it's an
it.
escape from reality. Yeah. So we are back on the map. You guys head over to the workshop. You don't have any particular problems getting over there. This isn't like a high stress situation, so I'm not gonna like make you guys roll to navigate. And you kind of know where you're going. At least I assume you know where your workshop is. Um, why don't you go ahead and you give me that maker roll, either a fabricate or an upgrade? And you're going to be using land vehicle tech for it.
Yes, I'll do. I'll do upgrade. On it.
I'm going to pull out my physical copy of the book and find the DVs. I'm pretty sure that's going
Well,
to.
I destroyed it, so whatever it is.
Heck yeah. So let me double check. I don't get angry people in the comments going like, that wasn't the right DV. There it is. This was premium. DV was 17. You destroy that. Let's have Onyx. Let's have you roll a forgery. Because this involves the executive zone, I think I'm gonna make it a kind of a spectrum thing. So as long as you beat if you beat a 9, it's going to be a physical thing that looks right. And
Right.
as it goes up, it becomes more and more legit. I think if you beat a 17, I'm actually going to allow you to have gone into like your corporate website and put enough details in there that if someone did run the passes, something would come back that kind of would validate you. When they
Perfect.
dig, nothing will be there, but
So I would like to. Can I also use SMS to do something to help me, like a library search, to help me gather that information?
yeah, go ahead and roll the library search for her. I'm just going to remind, I think we planned on ending the stream at around 4 o'clock. I don't think most of you have spent your luck, and it refreshes every new session we have. So,
Oh right, yeah.
yeah, so like if we have any more, like this is something to keep in mind for next time. As you kind of approach the end of the session, start spending luck because you're going to lose it anyways. You don't get to keep it for the next session.
Perfect. I'll go ahead and drop 3 luck on the forgery as well.
Beautiful. So that library search, I'm going to say she gave you a +2 complimentary because it matches and it was a very high roll. So
Mhm.
that means 7 plus a 3. That is going to be a 20. So
Mhm.
you have made honestly, if not for the fact that if you like actually go digging, you'd find out that there's nothing there.
Mhm.
This is like for all like at least on the street level, this is a legit pass. You will be able to give this to a guy. He will basically scan it and it will come back as valid. It's only if you like piss someone off and they decided to go
Mhm.
looking for it that you'd have an issue.
Nice.
Uh, it, on the top of that, it's going to take the full day to do that. So like
Mhm.
you maybe have some time you got to finish up in the morning to do it, but you do some body work on the car. You're not technically repairing it or making it run better, and we're not going to consider it upgraded because upgrade was just a placeholder, but
Yeah.
it now looks like a good quality like not quite brand new, but definitely a corporate bought this from like a downed cargo container in the ocean, brought it back up and
Mhm.
now it's fine. So you guys have a very effective way of getting in there. You have day passes. Yeah, I think you guys are doing pretty good. I think this is also probably a good natural stopping
Mhm.
point for us
Yeah,
to
for
pick up
sure.
with the next session, so you can actually go in there. And I'm just gonna go on my notes
Completely
and
agree.
update things.
Yeah, that worked out really well.
Yeah, I love it when it works like that.
Right? Love it
So
when a
yeah,
plan
I
comes
will
together.
figure out. Yeah, I will double check the official date it is because I got it and then I didn't put it in my notes because I'm a silly man. Actually, no. It like this day that we were just on, I believe, was July 11th. So on July 12th, like probably around like 11 or 12 p.m., 11 a.m., 12 p.m. That's when you're gonna actually go to the exec zone and try to hop in there.
All right, perfect.
Yes,
Unless
and
you guys decide to do something
today
else.
was July 11th. Yeah.
Today was July 11th. Thank you. Thank you, our regular GM who actually has control over that type of stuff, and why I wasn't
Yeah,
just
because
going off the cuff.
the last session of the first campaign was July 4th.
Ah,
So this is a week later.
nice. Very cool. Um, and with that, we're gonna do our age old now tradition of magic moments. You're gonna tell everybody who you are once again, where to find you on the internet, and give a good farewell. So with that being said, I think I would like to start the first magic moment just so LOL can see what we mean. Cassidy, um, magic
Of
moment.
course,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know.
So my magic moment, my favorite part of the session today was most definitely, it was actually right at the beginning when we're introducing all the characters and we all did our little opening routine, how we wake up in the morning, what
Hmm.
we do. And I really liked how Fire and Bone really incorporated the, slightly less used skills of like wardrobe and style and
Yeah.
personal grooming and all that stuff, and how
Mhm.
he's really able to encapsulate what that means in terms of our characters, and it kind of gives the characters like a real sense of identity
Yeah.
in the world. So I really like how he's able to like kind of take these less used aspects of the game and kind of bring them to fruition. I think that's like really special, and like a really good skill for a DM. I hope to learn some of that from him throughout the course of this.
Looking over here.
um, you can find me on Discord at Cassidy_Grant. If you ever want to talk, if you ever want to get in on one of my games, I'm currently potentially looking for some players for a D&D game. I might host other Cyberpunk games. Or if you're ever interested in, maybe making a guest appearance, who knows? I've run a bunch of games, campaigns. We're always looking for people. So if you ever want to get in contact with me, that's a great way to do it. Thank you,
Perfect.
guys.
Perfect. Perfect. And thank you for being here. Uh, LOL. Magic moment. Where can we find you on the internet?
Magic moment. Ooh. Uh, Actually, I pretty much enjoyed it all. I liked the introduction of the characters. I actually liked talking to Mule and the day market. I never actually thought of day markets.
Mm-hmm.
I've only ever
Mhm.
run night markets, so that was kind of a
Yeah.
good idea. And it was kind of cool to actually have like real food in it too.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
I really much enjoyed. Nothing really. nothing really stands out as like super memorable. Like we did a lot of stuff, but it was nothing that like highlight reel gonna
Hmm.
be on
Mhm.
Sports Center at the end of the night, right? But it was great. Where to find me? You can find me on Discord. What's my
Nice.
ID on Discord? It's my first name Gianni, spelled Gianni, and then number 0182. You can send me a message there. Otherwise, you can Facebook me, or I'm on Instagram also. Soon
Perfect.
to have a proper painting studio on Instagram also. So
Hey, that'll be dope. Yeah, definitely show that when it's up.
Mhm.
That'll be really awesome. I love connecting artists to artists. So that'll be sick. I'll go and let our GM or a ref do their thing. My magic moment
But
really is the team makeup. Not so much in the um, roles as much as we have three faces on this team, which is going to be hilarious. I loved seeing like everyone, because it seems like everyone has some pretty good social skills. Um, and so it's really funny watching three well dressed, good looking men walk into a room. And I think for later on in this team's future, it's going to be funny figuring out who to talk to, dependent for an NPC. Like who's in charge for this one? Like who's happening now? So I think it'll be fun to see how that baton gets passed. Uh, it really gave me hopes for the future of some funny RP moments. Um, and
yeah.
where to find me? Oh, and sir, your accent. Please continue.
yeah, yes, that was great.
Okay, no problem.
Oh,
I
so
love
good.
the accent. It's so good.
So good.
I'm jealous.
So I'm excited to see what this team is gonna get up to because it's gonna be silly, but really cool. Uh, and where you can find me here, I'll do my little outro after Fire and Bone goes, but Joss the Solar Powered Bard. But I'm not a shark is another branding that I use on the internet. And you can find me. Just Google me. I'll be there. Um, and yeah, I'll do the rest of the outro after Fire and Bone.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'm gonna do my magic moments, and then I'm gonna talk about IP in this because
Ooh.
I like to do it at the end of the session
Mm,
because then I can
Mhm.
also we'll get into that in a second, but it'll all make sense, I promise.
mhm,
Yeah. So my magic moments. First off, and it's a lot of things. You guys in the morning immediately like knowing what your characters were doing and stuff like that. It's really nice because it helps you get into the characters.
mhm.
And I know it can sometimes be a bit of a curveball. It's like, crap, what does my house look like? Like how do I
Right.
look good? I
Right.
especially love details like making like doing like popping the light tattoos, making sure the nails like match to it. I love those small attention to
Mhm,
details. And I also love the way that you guys were just interacting in the day market because that was set up to give you guys like a little chance to kind of show off your characters. I love details like showing off that he's got a little bit of a foodie, like talking to all these things. Meanwhile, our lovely exec Onyx is just like all business and like who the heck are these people? Get dossiers on them. And then Abel over here is like, all right, so I'm hungry, so I need a mango and I need a bottle of wine, sir.
Yeah.
It was just it was actually absolutely beautiful. So many good points. Um, so now let's talk about IP. So and I'm gonna do this for also the people like watching this.
Mhm,
In the Cyberpunk system, you reward IP every session. If someone tells you that you don't, they are interpreting the rules differently than I would. Um, you do that based upon like the four roles that they can take, and then when they complete a job, you do it by the group.
mhm,
I don't like doing different amounts of IP because it can create some like bad feelings with people, and
mhm.
it doesn't feel like it would be a fun time. So I use group for everybody. So the description for what you're getting today is 50 IP.
Okay.
Group accomplished most of the mission goals extremely well with a few stellar moments. Because I want to go in and talk to you guys about them. Um, I had a bunch of situations planned for you guys that were going to be problems that you guys unknowingly with just like amazing roleplay completely managed to bypassed. Like at Casa Rojo, there was going to be a whole interaction with some of the nomads there who were going to hassle them. But because Abel just pulled Rocker Boy as like, hey, where's Al? Like completely sidestepped that thing. And I'm like, that's great. It wasn't like a combat situation, but it was like, yeah, you just completely like skipped around a social confrontation very well. And the second thing, because I can't talk about it with your characters, but I can talk about it with you, one of the stellar moments is a secondary ability that Al could have offered you is if you were willing to do work for him, is he could have offered you the very same day passes that were forgeries that you having the skills and making the thought made for yourself. On top of that, he was going to be a potential like I can get you like business wear suits so you'll look the part. But again, you guys just being rock stars and making good plans, you took the time to take this car that you like hotwired, which I will say you have made it so there's no longer a screwdriver in there as part of like the remodeling it.
Mhm.
You guys completely like skipped around and basically did did everything that I thought you would need to do to get inside your own way, and it was absolutely stellar. Absolutely loved it. So yeah, those are my magic moments, and just in addition to that, like the ways you did super well as role players playing the game. Bravo.
Thank you,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Yeah,
thank
this was
you.
great.
Mm.
Yeah, and one thing I want to say, Jaws, before
Mhm.
we tune everything out is, I want to say thank you to everyone, and I want to shout out Money, who unfortunately due
Mhm.
to scheduling issues, Mac
Yes.
is not able to join us currently. He may be popping in for sessions in the future as a
Mhm.
guest, but unfortunately, he may not become a permanent member of the team again.
Mhm.
So, for everyone who may be wondering where Mac is,
Mhm.
that is the answer. I'm, I'm sad that he's not here, but I'm also very
Mm.
happy because it's given us the chance to meet Gianni, who
Yeah.
is a really cool guy.
Mm.
And I think that you guys are going to enjoy him. Like, you guys are going to love him so much. Like, every time I talk to him, I'm like, this guy is, I think, the perfect fit for our group.
Yeah.
Um,
Lottery will only
and
get you everything.
Mhm.
yeah. um, and then one other thing, I don't know if I mentioned this on stream before, but I definitely did mention it to the groups. There are two other pieces of media that will be coming out of this campaign and the side
Mhm.
stories. So one, I will be hopefully adapting season one into a novel. And I
Heck
will
yeah.
be I will be probably posting it for free.
Mhm.
So when that is finished, I will definitely be pushing that out and letting you guys know. As well as that, I'm going to be just making a compilation of different lore things and Easter eggs and stuff like that. And I'll be doing it for the first season, and I will continue it on as we go. And I'll be posting that and giving the link to Jaws to post that however he wants to do it. So those are
Mhm.
two things in this world and connected to all this that you can look forward to coming out in the future. And those are the two things I wanted to talk about. So, Jaws, take it away.
No, perfect. I love all of that. To piggyback off of what you said about Money or Mac, um, it's funny because to fill Mac's shoes, to fill Money's shoes, as the fixer of fixers, once again I had to bring up it takes three faces. Um, so we do miss you.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
we do miss you, but we're glad you'll be coming back at least a few times, and I'll get you. I'll come and get you. But with that all being said, I'm looking forward to the novel, looking forward to the lore things that made me think of maybe creating a CTF for some of my more cybersecurity minded bros and sisters out there. Um, to do a little bit of hacking to get some lore. Um, so that would be really fun. But with that being said, I am Jaws, the solar powered bard. We do a little bit of cybersecurity work here. I do my DJ streams, some Final Fantasies, some CVE research, and just figuring out what's going on the internet. You can find me here. I think I have a show coming up. If not this weekend, next week, doing some DJing. You can catch my VODs. I'm on Mixcloud as well. By the way, I've hit top 10 on the global charts, the last being 7 on the K-pop global charts on
Yeah.
Mixcloud. So check that out.
Cool.
Um,
Woo!
right? And
all the famous people I know now. Great.
as always, drink your water, take your meds, find somebody you love and hit them with a body roll. And until next time, my wonderful, wonderful people, stay patch, peeps. Thanks for being here for Nuclear Eddies.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.